welcome to Marie+One. I'm Marie, and today's plus one is Isabella Owens. Good morning,
Hi.
Isabella.
It's so good to be here. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited to have you too. How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm just so happy to be here. It's such a beautiful place.
It is, and thank you, Lester,
Yes.
for being an amazing podcast studio
Host.
owner, director. He has all the
All
hats.
of the above.
Yes. So Isabella, we don't know each other, and so it's
don't.
gonna be fun to learn to know you today.
Yes.
Would you like to start by introducing yourself in a couple
Yes. So my name is Isabella Owens. I am a realtor. I have had a few businesses in the past, and I just became a realtor now. So that is my newest venture. It's something I can see myself doing for an incredibly long time, and that and social media, my two favorite things.
Heck yeah. And honestly, I mean, I really thought until like right now that you've been a realtor for like years already.
Wow. I'm
So yeah, your social media is on point.
Thank you. I've been trying. I don't have the years of experience, but I've been trying to learn and get all the knowledge that I can. So I'm trying to put that into my social media more than anything too.
It seems to be your passion.
Yes.
So I guess that helps a little bit. But of course, it
Yes.
doesn't take anything from your hard work and
Thank
dedication.
you. Yeah, the passion makes it much easier, honestly. I've done businesses and jobs in the past where I didn't have that passion, and compared to this is so different. It really
Okay.
is.
And I'm curious to dig into all that. But first, I want to ask you: are you from New Mexico?
I am. I
Okay.
am born and raised.
Nice. Okay. Fun. And how old are you?
I am 23.
23.
Yes.
Wow, I thought we were the same age. Okay. I'm 30. I'm about to turn 32, June 2nd.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought we were the same age
I
too.
know,
You
me
look
too.
so young. I mean, you are young, but you look really young.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's so fun. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
So, amazing though. Then everything that you already accomplished is impressive.
Thank you. It's been a journey, to say the least, for sure. I started with salons.
Okay.
I got my esthetician license when I was 17.
Okay.
And then I just kind of kept going. I started with salons, permanent makeup, sold that, and then I just kind of kept going through
going.
the whole entrepreneur lifestyle, and now I'm here.
Nice. It seems to me that you've been trying to like maybe discover yourself. I feel because
Yes.
that's also why I feel like we're similar, because I feel like that too. I tried so many different things, and then I feel like now the podcast is a sort of my calling.
Yes.
And fun. So okay.
Yeah.
Let me take you back then to little Isabella.
Yes.
So from New Mexico, do you have brothers and sisters?
I do. So I have 6 siblings in total. I have 4 of them are half, and then the other 2 are full.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun. So I keep meeting people that are super similar to me. It's so really weird, but it's amazing though. It's like I don't believe in God, but I believe in like energies and
Yes.
the universe and stuff. And I feel like we've been, put on the same path for a reason.
I agree.
And because I have 3 brothers and 3 sisters.
Oh,
2
wow.
are full and the rest
Yeah.
are half. But even though I don't like to say that, I'm sure it's the same for you. It's like
Yes.
the same. They're all my brothers and sisters. But where are you in all your siblings?
So I have 3 older, me, and then my little brother.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Okay. So different. I'm the oldest. So
Oh,
how was it
nice.
for you? What's the age difference?
So I have a huge age difference with my 3 siblings that my dad had originally. So me and my oldest sibling, I think we're about 40 years apart. And then I'm about 39 years, maybe a little bit less. And then 23 years apart from my sister. And me and her are the closest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. Okay.
Yeah. My dad started very young, and then it kind of kept going, and then he took a gap, and then kept going again.
Oh. And so you didn't grew up with them. They were
Yeah.
grown-ups already, their own lives and
Exactly.
stuff. How was that?
It was really cool. They would come around for holidays and things like that, and I would always tell my little friends, I'd be like, oh my gosh, yes, my siblings are so old. Because I'd be like 10, you know, and they were like in their 20s. And I already had nieces by the time I was born and nephews. So it's a very interesting thing for sure. And my dad passed away last year. And since then, though, me and my siblings have gotten so much closer, which has been really nice, especially me and my sister. She lives in Colorado Springs right now.
Nice.
Yeah, but now she's kind of moving here. She's kind of figuring out what she wants to do, and I hope she moves here.
Nice. Well, first I want to say I'm sorry for your loss.
It's okay. Thank you so much.
And were you close?
Yeah, we were really close. We went through like a gap period where we weren't as close because my parents had gotten a divorce, but then we got really close the last year of his life, which I'm so grateful for. And then he passed. He had chronic heart failure, and he died of sepsis.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it was definitely a process for sure. But we all knew it was going to happen, so it wasn't as hard as I think it would have been if it was sudden.
How old was he?
He was only 67.
Oh, wow. Yeah, he had children really young.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very young. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yes, that's crazy. I'm so sorry to hear that. It's hard to lose a parent because, I mean, my mom passed away so I moved in August 2019, and December 2019 she passed right before COVID. Oh, good for her though. I mean, with everything that happened, but
Right.
yeah, no, it's and I wasn't talking to her. It's a whole story in itself, but I'm glad that you got that time with your dad.
Yeah, I am too, because we went through really like 5 years where we didn't really talk very much, and so having that year was at least like freeing.
Right.
You know, I was able to say goodbye, which was really, really nice.
So it's fun I was just rethinking about how you were like a young Tia or auntie or aunts to your nieces and nephews, but they're older than you. It's like it's a unique
It is
setup, but
for sure. I'm a great aunt. I was a great aunt by the time I think I was 17. So, which is so interesting. So my nieces had kids. And yeah, so it's always been so funny. We've always joked, like, when I was a baby, my sister would be like, call her auntie. And they're like, no. So now they'll be like, auntie.
That's funny. And how is that whole, like, is your mom still in the picture?
Yes, my mom is. She's amazing. I have, like, the best mom in the whole world, truly. And I'm so grateful for her. She's helped me this whole time along all my little entrepreneurial journeys, helped me move, helped me find spaces. She's so amazing.
She's there.
Yes.
So growing up, did you grow up with like a stepmother type of household or no, because your dad just like was with your mom? I'm assuming.
My dad was just with my mom until I was 14, and then my mom left my dad because my dad had broken his back and he got really addicted to opioids, which is sadly very common in New Mexico, especially. Like it's common everywhere. The epidemic is insane. But yeah, so she very justifiably got a divorce, and then I just kind of stayed with her. Me and my little brother did, and then that's when it took a little while for us to reconnect. Yes.
Well, I want to commend you for reconnecting with your dad because, like, my mom was addicted to drugs and alcohol, and it kind of drove her away from us because I think at that point, all her problems and, you know, everything that she went through growing up, I think took too much space for her, and it took over her motherhood.
Yes.
And I so wish that she was alive today because I really wish I could tell her, you know, that it's okay.
Yes.
And that I wish she had the surroundings to like take care of her and overcome all that. But unfortunately, that's not how really it happened. And for her, she had cancer. At some point, and she was in remission though, but the doctor said no more drinking, no more smoking, no more anything. And I think like we were not in her life at that point, and I mean, I don't think she had people around her to help her through that, or enough of it, and she just
Yeah.
relapsed, and in 6 months she was gone.
My dad didn't really have that either. It took him a long time to get off of drugs and alcohol, but I don't know if he ever really was off drugs and alcohol, or if he did a better job hiding it.
Right. Okay.
So that's what led to the congestive heart failure, we believe anyway, is like the drugs. And he never drank my childhood. He didn't drink until he had the congestive heart failure and he was having a hard time sleeping.
Okay.
So he started to drink, and then I think it just kind of shut down all of his organs eventually,
Right.
you know? It's so bad for you.
It is. And see, and
It's
your dad
crazy.
was 67, but my mom was 49.
Yeah.
And
so
I think,
young.
Yeah, I think people don't realize how bad it is for you, and how quick it can kill you.
Yes.
I mean, and it's maybe really harsh to say it like that, but
No, you're totally
people are
right.
like, and I'm the same, because of course, like, I feel like in the past week I shared 2 stories of me drinking a margarita. And I say that, but I like to, that's probably just my only drink, and I like to
Yes.
drink that when we're out eating, which is not
Yes.
quite often, but but I know, especially, it's funny, I don't know if you feel like that too, but for me, I know I can never start smoking or like really drinking, because I have a feeling that I could like become addicted, like
That's
in
my
a
fear.
minute.
Yeah. I mean, I will drink like a whiskey sour every once in a while, and I wish I could be somebody that goes out and has a good time, but I get so anxious about that. I don't want to start relying on drugs and alcohol
Right.
as
have a
my
good
dad
time.
did, or as your mom did, because
Right.
you don't know how deep it runs in the family. You don't know if I don't think I'm an alcoholic, but maybe if I start drinking, I will be,
Right.
It's such a, I know exactly what you
Yeah.
mean. It's such a weird thing.
And then it's funny because in school too, I will never forget, like I don't even remember what class. I guess it was just like our main teacher that like kind of told us one day that even the little grandma that drinks her little, because I don't know if it's the same here in America, but in Belgium, like after church, you go to the place, like an office or something, for everybody to like grab a drink and talk after service. And so you get a little, it's called a Porto. It's a type of alcohol, like a wine-ish. But and so everybody just drinks a Porto after church. And they were saying that even the little grandma that only drinks that, but since she drinks it every Sunday, she's considered an alcoholic because of the frequency.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I heard that, I was like, oh, that's okay. Okay. Poor little grandma. But, it's like,
Yeah. I heard something too the other day, actually, that it was like if you drink more than 2 to 3 times a week or in a span of 2 weeks, you're considered an alcoholic because of the frequency as well. And even if you have one beer one day, a beer the next day, but if you do that consistently, then you're considered an alcoholic as well. I mean, I don't know the rules.
No, right.
I'm like, but
in a way it makes sense, because then it becomes a habit.
yes.
So let's break that habit. I just had 2 margaritas in a week. Let's just break that habit right.
You just have to wait 1 week.
No, but yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I feel like, I don't know if it's like genetic or whatever, but I do feel like I have a tendency to be like addicted to stuff.
Yes. Me too.
Trying to break the addiction to sugar too, which is not easy either.
Yeah,
but
I'm addicted to caffeine. That is caffeine, and then I do love nicotine, but I don't buy vapes. I don't buy cigarettes, none of that, because I know I can get so addicted to it. And my dad, he smoked cigarettes since he was like 10 years old. So I'm like, okay, I cannot do that because it's probably my addiction too.
Right.
But caffeine, I'm like an energy drink and a coffee a day, or 2 energy drinks or whatever. I'm like, and it is so bad. I need to stop, but I don't want to.
Yeah, well, for me, I love the smell, but I can't drink coffee because I'm like so anxious. I feel like I can get a panic attack just drinking a coffee. And so I'm like, oh no, I'm more like a tea person, but I can definitely get and then now there are coffee shops everywhere.
Yes,
It's
everywhere.
like, yes.
Like 6 on every block, and they're all good.
They're all really good. That's true. We're very lucky here in Albuquerque. And then if you didn't know, but I've seen pictures from you with like ABQ Live. So I'm sure you know that
Yeah.
the Bikini Coffee Shop is about to open soon.
Yes.
So that's gonna be
I
fun
am so
too.
excited about that. That looks so fun. I'm like, I wish I had the time to work there. I would love that. That would be so much fun.
I feel like you have the personality too.
Thank
know?
you. Yeah. I'm like,
Just
I used to work at a coffee shop actually at downtown when I was like, I don't know, 15, 16 in high school. And it was so much fun. I loved it. I mean, the owner, she's amazing. So it was just so fun to just work at a coffee shop. But I'm like, I could do it again. But it's I really shouldn't. You know, I should stick to one career and one thing at a time.
You know what? I don't know if I agree with you because I feel like we have the same personalities for that, and I think that neither one of us is meant to do one thing.
Yeah.
And I think that society's telling you that you have to be like either like a 9 to 5 or have a sidekick, but then it has to be really successful. And for me, and that's been my struggle, is that my husband is a graphic designer, photographer, videographer.
Cool.
He found his passion really early on, and it's been his calling. And then when I moved here in 2019, I was like, I don't know, because then when you live with someone that has such a strong passion for something, it's like, wait, what is mine?
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And so I've been like, I don't know, but I'm really good at like doing things in the sense that like student jobs, I did a lot of like selling stuff. So I was like on market selling like cooked chicken and stuff. And then, but then I was also a good like student cleaning lady because, you know, because being a big sister, I always had to be like to help cook, to help clean, to help do the laundry.
Yes.
I'm good at doing stuff. You give me like a pile of like boxes to fold, or I don't know. It sounds reducting, which I don't like about society, to say that all the like serving, it's not the right word, service jobs, or like, you know, servers or cashiers, or they're all like so allez, how do you say that in English? They're not well compensated for what they do.
Yeah.
And that makes me so mad because we need all those jobs.
Yeah.
And those are the most important jobs, because if you go to a cashier that's not smiling, that's not happy in her life, it's gonna ruin your day. And it's like, so they have such an important role on so many different levels, and I feel like they need to be value. No, how do you say that?
Like valued.
Yeah, valued more. There we go. And that makes me so mad. And so, but growing up, I did a whole lot of those jobs, and then moving here, I started doing. So I couldn't work for 6 months because of my immigration process.
Yeah.
And then when I could, I started doing the Amber Care, like helping people and doing their laundry, helping them clean their home. Yeah. And I had such a good experience but it was paid shit. Yeah. I think I was paid $8 an hour.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
An hour, but I was so important to these people though, because they needed me for XYZ reasons, but it was, and the social experience you get from it, and it's amazing. Yeah. And those people are paid crap. And I'm like,
yes.
Huh? This doesn't make sense.
It's insane. So I saw a study where they interviewed a bunch of people, and it was like crappy jobs, things that people would consider like awful jobs. And one of the happiest jobs that they interviewed was the janitors at the hospitals. So they would think of it as if they were helping and serving others and making them feel better, and it didn't even matter to them the pay that they received, but it was considered one of the happiest jobs, but it was actually considered one of the worst jobs at the same time. So the people that picked that would be the worst job to have were people that obviously didn't work there. So then when they interviewed and did the study on the actual people that worked there, they found that it was actually they were so happy, but they weren't paid anything. No. And it's awful because they were providing so much care and service out of their own love and hearts, because obviously they could get a job anywhere. I mean, they're working so hard, they could do anything, you know, but they loved what they did, and they felt like they were truly helping people, because they are. But it's so interesting how as a society we're like, oh, they should get paid less than $15 an hour.
Where do we put the value? It's insane. It's like, I don't understand that. And so I did all that, and then I was trying to, find my calling, but for some reason I always find myself loving contact with people.
Yeah.
And
Me
like my
too.
bachelor is like management assistant, so behind the desk 9 to 5. This is I
Yeah.
can't do that. And bless everybody's heart that can, because we need all type of
Yeah.
people. And all the the works are valuable, and that's why for me to say I can't do that is also like not the right thing to
Yeah.
say, because it almost feels like it's below me, whatever,
Yes.
and it's really not how I see it.
I see it the opposite. I see it so above me. I am so,
There we
for the
go.
people that can work a 9 to 5 and do one thing, like, I'm like, wow, you're amazing.
Yeah.
Like, that's wonderful.
Right.
My mom, I mean, she works a 9 to 5. She's worked a 9 to 5 pretty much her whole life. She's had like little businesses and things, but I see her just get up and go to
And
work
go.
every day. And come home in the evening, and I'm like, wait, how'd you do that?
Right.
Like, I cannot. I need to do 45 different things throughout my
know.
day, and not in one place.
Right.
Like, I think it's so cool when people can.
And that's
do
true.
too.
That's true. And yeah, my husband's mom, she's I guess I won't really. She works 60 hours a week.
Yeah.
And I don't know how she does that. She leaves at like she starts at 7 and finishes at 11 p.m. Like 7 in the
Wow.
morning, 7 p.m. at
Yeah.
night, and she sleeps like 4 hours. I'm so in awe of what
Yeah.
she does, because at the same time I feel like it's also another generation where they just didn't think it's
Yeah.
well, I need money, I need to feed my children, I need to
Yeah.
pay my mortgage, I'm gonna work. And at the same time, that generation, it worked for them to go
Yeah.
work, and then they'll have enough. And we had that conversation with Josh, and actually I had it last week with Kushike, where we were saying the same thing of, I feel like that American dream with like the white picket fence and
Yeah.
having a dog and being able to buy a house, it's gone. It was for
Yeah.
that generation. And our generation, it's like we have to invent our own American dream
Yes.
and work a million different things, because one doesn't pay off anymore.
Yes, exactly.
You can't just do that.
And then we are all, which I'm so glad that we are, but we're all very passion focused. Our generation
Yes.
wants to do things that we actually enjoy, which can
Yep.
be a downfall for, I don't know, the economy, I guess, where people are like, oh, nobody wants to work at McDonald's, but nobody wants to work these awful, shitty
No,
jobs
no,
because
right.
they're not getting
Yeah.
valued. That's the biggest thing, is the people aren't being valued. They're not being paid correctly. They're not treated right by the people going in to buy the McDonald's,
Right.
So it's just this whole toxic cycle. And
Yes.
it's like, no wonder nobody wants to work there. And then there's all these people, too, that are always pissed off by anything electronic, right? So, like, the self-checkout. They're like, oh, I hate these self-checkout. But I'm like, well, you didn't value your cashier either. You were rude to
Right.
them. You don't want them to be paid more. You don't want us to hire more, but you want us to have jobs. It's such an interesting cycle for the past generation, because they
That's
just
true.
don't understand. But now, like, I am not going to get a job that I'm not valued at, because I can find a job where I am.
Yes.
Or I can work for myself. Or people can do OnlyFans. They can do so many different things. Like, we have the whole internet, the whole world available to us. Like, why are we going to settle for things that we don't like anymore? And I think that's a huge thing right now for our generation, especially.
I think so too. And then there's something interesting in what you're saying too. I don't know how your parents were, but for
Yeah.
me, I feel like looking at my parents, I'm like, oh my God, like, oh, I always heard them say that, they would go on vacation when they were retired, or, they'll do
Yes.
whatever they want after and after and after. And I feel like for our generation to have heard that,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
I don't want to go enjoy the world when I'm like 60.
Because what if I don't
No.
get to 60?
That too, yeah.
I
no.
mean, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Especially looking at our parents, right? If my dad waited till he retired, he would be dead. So
Well,
it's like,
yeah.
it wouldn't have ever gotten to that point where they can do those things they want to do. I was lucky. My dad was a business owner, so before that, he was a salesman, car salesman, used car salesman, all the bad
So
salespeople.
he did pursue.
Yeah. And then he became a business owner. He owned a fencing and construction company. He was a contractor. Yeah. And then my mom, she always did a 9 to 5 with other little jobs and things like that. And so I was kind of able to get best of both worlds and decide what I want and see how each one was, you know? My mom, she was always more steady, more focused. She's always done so amazing in everything she does, but especially in working in her career, it's just something she's really liked. And she's an office manager at a dermatology office. And my dad was always all over the place. I mean, we were doing bids, we were doing this. He was like, I would be with him a majority of the time when I was little because he was able to take care of me, you know? He was a business owner. He could do whatever he wanted. So it was always very interesting seeing both sides. And I guess I took over after my dad on that part because I'm like, I'd rather be all over the place.
Yeah, but see, that's interesting too, because I feel like it also depends how you're raised. And in your case, I'm so glad you were able to see both and then decide kind of for yourself. And I want to get there also in just a second. But then see, for like the difference with me and my husband is that for me, like I was raised as, you have to go to school, you have to get your degree, you have to have a bachelor, you have to be super, like you have to have a high paid job. Like at first I did law school and I failed, but my dad, I could see in his eyes how proud of me was when I was in law school, and he was like, oh my god, he couldn't stop about telling everybody my daughter is going to be a lawyer and she's going to be doing this and this and that, and the day that after trying for 3 years and failing the first year 3 times, I was like, I don't think it's meant for me because I don't have the time, I don't have the it's just not working. And and then, but see, it's funny because then my mentality at the time was like, I need to find in something else that's gonna, get me one of those jobs still. And so I was like, well, there's this study, management assistant, 3 years. After that, it's guaranteed I have a job in the 3 months after I graduate, which ended up being like a week after I graduated, I was already working. But it's like, I went through there, but I knew I wasn't going to be happy doing that, but I was like, well, that's what my parents are expecting from me to do, so I'm just going to do that. And so, but for my husband, he grew up with his mom that was just always supportive of him and supportive of whatever, and she was a single mom raising him, and nevertheless, she was like, he wanted to start, he was gaming, and he wanted to do gaming professionally. She was like, go for it. Yeah. You want to do it, just do it. Don't just say it, just do it. And he tried and he went to competitions and stuff, and he went pretty far in, but then it didn't work out, and then he found his passion for graphic design, and she was like, well, go for it. And so he was like, oh yeah, I'm going to do this. It wasn't a bachelor. Was it a bachelor? And the point is she like pushed him all the way. And I'm like, damn, I wish my parents, you know what I mean? It's like, well, I wish they pushed me into something more than just this idea they had of me, or this idea of what they wanted me to be. And so, young Isabella, what was her dreams?
So I was thinking about this last night, actually. That's so funny. I when I was little, I wanted to be a teacher. Okay. I don't know why. I would not be a teacher now. I know part of me. I really don't know where I got that from. Okay. But I used to always want to be a teacher. So I would always sit my little brother down and I would be like, okay, this is this, this is this is this. And it's kind of funny because he has like a little bit of learning delays. And we're all like, do you think it's from Bella teaching her when she was little? We're always like making the joke, like, do you think that's what it was?
Because of you?
Yeah. And I'm like, probably because I was teaching him completely wrong. I mean, I'm not a good teacher.
That is funny.
I was thinking, like, I was thinking this last night. I'm like, what did I want to be when I was little? And I always wanted to be a YouTuber. I was always I was making YouTube videos. I was doing makeup. They're awful. You can look them up. Like, if you look up my name on YouTube, it's like,
please give us the links. I'll put them under the... I want to go see her.
They're so bad. There's like this really funny clip where I'm like, when I grow up, I'm going to be rich. And that's just like all I was set on. And I'm still set on that. I'm like, that's my only dream. I'm like, I just want to have financial security, be financially stable, and that's it. But I never really had an ideal life or an ideal dream in my mind. Yeah. I was always all over the place, and I've always been, and I think I changed a lot of things for my parents because when I was younger, it was like that. You go to school, you do this, you go to college, whatever, and decided probably pretty early on. I was like, I am done. I hate school. I'm not going to do this.
Okay.
So I actually dropped out when I was 17 because I wanted to do the esthetician program, and it started in May right before graduation. So my senior year, I was like, okay, I need to drop out and get my GED, or I'm going to have to wait a whole year to do this program.
Oh.
And
How weird for them to start that early then.
yeah, I mean, they do it for everybody, so like it can be anybody's age, anything.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, but still, then if you want to start after graduating, then you're too late. It's just, yeah,
exactly.
That's weird.
So I'm just so impatient, right? So I go to my mom and I'm like, I'm dropping out, and she's like, you have like 3 months left.
Excuse
Like,
me?
what are you doing? And she was supportive, and I was so surprised because I always thought like I had to graduate or whatever, but I think she saw that I just didn't like school. Like, I had friends, everything was great, but I just hated school. I just always did. I never liked school, which is very ironic because I wanted to be a teacher when I was a little kid.
Yeah, that is true.
I just hated it. So I dropped out. I went like that day, got my GED, and then I joined the esthetician program. I loved the schooling for the esthetician, but it was very hands-on, you know.
Okay.
I was doing facials, waxing, all these things, and so that was very nice. But it really, I think I changed my parents' viewpoints, but then I think I changed them again because I kept switching careers and businesses. And my mom, poor thing, I mean, she's been like, okay, yeah, you can do it, you can do it, you can do it. And then I think one day she was just like, you need to pick something. And then I did it.
Hard.
Yes.
It's so hard because, see, like growing up, I'm not too familiar with the American side of things, but for Europe, it's like you have to be. So in Europe, you have like the main courses, which we call general, and then you have like technique and professional. And so general, it's like I guess the main branch of it all, and you studied that's what I graduated, but it doesn't mean shit. I'm just like, whatever, but like, oh, good job. But so you get like all the main courses, and you get Latin, and you can choose an extra language, and you can do all kinds of stuff, and you have a lot of math and a lot of science, and from there you can go straight to university.
Nice.
To get either a bachelor, all that good stuff. Then you have the technique, and that's where you learn I don't know really the difference between the two. Both, like technique and professional, they're two different ones, but basically you learn profession.
Yeah.
And it's either like you go like, I think 2 days a week to school, and then the rest you're in like you work with a company, or you work with like an esthetician, and you learn the job hands-on. But then from there you can't go straight to university. You have to have like a year in between, or kind of like a type of GED type of thing.
That's cool.
But so that sets people behind, which is also like, so Europe is a lot like working towards like pushing people to stay in the main courses, and if you don't and you fall off, then you're stupid. You're a stupid piece of shit, and you have to like battle twice as hard to be anybody.
Yeah.
And when you look for a job, you have to prove that you have your main degree, and if not, that you have that extra little thing, whatever. And so I always do that. I go into things and then I forgot my what I was saying.
I do that all the time too. You're like, what are your dreams? I'm like, so.
And then we end up talking about, oh, my dog's name is Chip. And it's like, oh, wait. And so it's okay. Will come back to me eventually. But so funny. So about the school, though, I'm so happy that your mom pushed you because, I think that's what I wanted to say. So society pushes you to have a degree. Yeah. And without a degree, you're nobody. But that's not true. No. If you have experience, if you're pushing, if you hardworking, you can always make it. Yeah. So how did you? So okay, you started with the esthetician. How did you like that?
I really enjoyed it. I still really love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny because I think I had a lot of friends that ended up becoming estheticians afterwards because they saw how much I enjoyed it and I liked it and I was making really good money. And I think that they were a little bit motivated by that. They're like, cool, this is so cool. And then as soon as they became estheticians, I was like, bye.
Oh, there we
On
go.
to the next thing.
Yep.
And it's so funny because I've just always, when I get tired of one thing, I'm just like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. This is, I'm just not enjoying it. So I sold my salons and then I was like, okay, cool, next. And it's so funny because it's just like you can motivate people or inspire people, but then you're like on to the next thing. But I've always been motivated by my friends who were in college and were doing their studies and doing things, but that was not for me at all. Like I didn't even want to try that journey.
Yeah.
But I think it's just so interesting because it's like the path that you choose can be so different for everyone. But I feel like I had gotten so much experience in life and in business and everything by forcing myself to do all these different businesses and careers in such a short time span. I mean, I was thinking the other day, I'm like, oh my God, I'm only 23. I started businesses 5 years ago. So in 5 years, I mean, I've had probably like 10, 11 failed businesses and then really good businesses. And it's just been such a 5 years of trial and tribulation, really, that I've just been working on.
But it's so impressive because I'm like, are we as sisters in another,
I feel like
in another life? Because it's so funny when I moved here, like, I'm the same as you and that's also sometimes what's like really scary because you're really passionate about something and you start something and then you're like, okay, I've seen it all. Like, please move on. And so like I started my sewing business and I loved it. I did like tailored clothing and I was making scrunchies and bags and stuff and I loved it. And but then I was like, and then on TikTok or on Instagram, sorry, I don't even have TikTok, but on Instagram, I see like, people like making shirts and sweaters and, with designs. And I'm like, oh, I can do that. And again, the thinking of, I can spend hours like printing T-shirts and folding them. Like I'm good at this. Like right now I work at the post office and I don't want to throw myself flowers, but I'm really good at it. It's like I'm really good at repetitive work. Yeah, and it's not. I'm not like a doctor or a surgeon, but I'm really good at repetitive stuff. And I feel like sometimes you just also have to know your strengths.
Yes.
And but then I even got a press. Yeah. And I wanted to start it with a friend, but it didn't work out because I was too stubborn in my own ways. And I was like, no, I want the designs to look this way and not this way. And so we kind of didn't agree on that. And so we're like, okay, let's just maybe not do it. And it didn't happen. And then I saw like, I talked about it with Josh. I keep seeing this magnet lady on Instagram. Like she makes photo magnets.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and she's like watching the show and making magnets. And I'm like, I can do that. Yeah. And so I guess I should probably message her and say, hey, I keep talking about you on my on my podcast. But all that to say that it's also really hard because every idea or thing I see, I'm like, oh my God, I want to try that. This looks so fun. And then I'm like, okay, I'm trying to recenter myself. And so until not too long ago, I was like, what is my and it's really troubling because it's like, and so at some point I had to tell my husband, I don't think my passion is one thing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I think I'm going to be very unhappy if I really believe that is only one thing. And so that's why the podcast and talking to so many different people, I just love that so much. I love talking, so it helps. But
me too.
I'm like, I'm just going to encounter so many different people and it's just going to keep being fun. But because I feel like if I just try to be another magnet lady or another sweater lady or la 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 la, I don't think I'm going to be fulfilled.
Yeah.
Because I'm like you, I think I'm meant to always be like, okay, what's next?
Yeah, exactly. For me, I don't know the difference between hobbies and businesses, right? Okay. So if I start doing something, I'm like, oh, I could sell this. Ooh, people would enjoy this. Ooh, I could donate this. Like any different thing. Right. And then I get into this whole business landscape for no reason where I'm just like, now I have a business of making magnets and I don't even know if I like making magnets, but here we are. And I just spent 60 hours of my life at least like passionately posting about these magnets. But I listened to this podcast. I mean, I watched it. It was a YouTube video too, right? So, where they were talking about your passion versus purpose. And so they were saying that your passion can be trying new things. And maybe that's just what your passion is.
Okay.
Or your passion could be helping people, talking to people. And the passion doesn't have to necessarily be a career or a one single thing you have to do.
That's true.
And I was like, wow, that is so interesting, because for me, I love talking with people. I love meeting new people. I love seeing new things. Really, I've always wanted to be a realtor, and it was just kind of something that I kind of like. It's like, no, like, do realtors in New Mexico even make money? Is this a career that I would want to follow? And this was in high school, right? So it was before I really knew anything. But I always knew I loved meeting new people, talking with people, helping people. And looking at new things. Like, me and my sister always joke, like, when I was little, I was like 5 years old, right? I was always like, oh, I need to go pee. I want to go to Target. I want to go to Walmart. I need to go pee. And then that would be my excuse for everything, right? So my sister was like, yeah, you've always liked seeing people's houses and businesses, because you would always use the excuse, I have to pee, to go inside. That's when my dad would do bids, and we'd be at a stranger's house doing a fence or doing some sort of construction. I'd be all, yeah, I really have to pee. Can I go into their house? And then I would just look around.
Nice.
So it's so funny. I feel like I was led to this, and then discovering my passions, I'm like, oh, maybe my passion isn't a career. It's a bunch of different things, and if I can make those passions into purpose, which is serving others, it's just so much better that way. And I mean, it's taken a lot of growth and development. I mean, who I was even 6 months ago, a year ago, is so drastically different than who I am now. It's so interesting, like, how that happens.
Yeah, it is. And to just, like, talk about the toilet thing real quick, it's funny because that's why I say we're sisters somehow, because my sister, the one that follows me, Julie, she used to do that. Really? And so, but, like, we would go to the bakery, and she'd be like, I need to pee. And she didn't, like, 3 seconds ago, but she was always so curious about, like, seeing the backstage of the bakery or any store or anything. And so she would come back and say, the toilets were red.
That was me, yes. That was like, I'd be like,
God.
oh my God, they had the prettiest bathroom in there. And everyone's like, you didn't even have to pee. You made us stop here. You made us go to Target, whatever, just so I could see it, or I could go see the items at the store or whatever. And now I go into people's houses, and I'm like, this is so cool. And having the access, like, because we have these little super boxes, and we're able to, like, we book a showing and stuff like that. And I'm like, before I had buyers, which now, thank God, I have buyers, but I was like, I want to go see these houses. How do I go see these houses? And so I had to, like, work my ass off to get these buyers, and just to get people so that I could see the houses. But that was my priority, right? Like, I'm like, okay, if I can get buyers, then we can see the houses. And I'm like, okay, I want to see $1 million houses. I want to see less expensive houses. So I need to get buyers of all kinds so that I can see all these houses. And it's just so funny, because the goal is, like, I can help people. And I get to see the houses and see these mysterious things that I haven't seen.
That nobody knows about. It's amazing. And see, it's funny because, and I want to dive into that, but I was about to start being a realtor. So we were, oh my God, I can't speak English right now. We would have met, I feel like, anyway. But I was going to start, like, a real estate career, because same as you, like, when we went through the process of buying our house, like, my realtor, she's amazing too. She's not in the same agency as you, but she's just amazing. And I was so interested in the process, and I was getting really good at it, understanding everything, and, and I mean, I'm a talker too, so, and whenever we would then go visit houses, I would just, like, walk with her and kind of even, like, do the showing almost with her, and it was so fun. And she was like, oh my God, but maybe you should start a career. And I was at the point where I was actually contractor for USPS. I was delivering out in Stanley, and but we were thinking of having children and all that, and I was, like, trying to get, and see, it's funny because in a way, and I think that's the fear, and that's, like, the past, like, holding on to you for you not to, like, let go, but that was telling me you need to have a stable job. And so, which that was stable, but it was just like a 1.5 year contract. So when the contract was over, then what next? And so I was trying to get in the post office as an employee. I was trying other stuff. I was applying at jobs, and then I was trying to make my sewing stuff, work actually. And that didn't, work as fast as I wanted it to be. So I was like, okay, this is not going to be, ready by the time my contract's over. And so I was trying, and then I was like, oh, maybe I should start real estate. And then we had a big thing. We were scammed. Long story short, we lost $10,000 with my husband. And then I was like, oh my God. So it's like, I don't have time. Yeah, I don't have time to do the classes, and we don't have the money to invest in in that career. Yeah, and so I applied a couple times, and like miracle. And how life works sometimes is crazy. But the day that I actually contacted Lester and guest to set the podcast, and that we found like I signed a contract, is the day I got the answer from the post office that I got the job. Wow. And I was like, universe, you piece of shit. What are you telling me?
Yes, what am I supposed to do right now?
I was like, no, this is not okay. And all that to say that it's funny because I feel like I've always been attracted to real estate for the same reason as you. Because I love, like what you said, I love contact with people. I love serving. I love helping. And so I was like, oh my God, I need to do that. But also, real estate doesn't pay much in the beginning. Yeah. For you don't even know how long, really.
Yes, you have no idea.
So how has your experience been with that? If you're open to share with us, and how are you doing?
Yeah. So I haven't made any money from real estate yet. I have 2 listings right now. I've only been a real estate agent for 2 weeks. Legally. Licensed.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's crazy. So I took the classes 2.5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. And that was my concern, right? I was like, well, I'm not going to get paid for a while. I don't know what I'm doing. I had other businesses. And I was like, I don't know. What do I do, right? So then I went through a lot. I mean, I have probably a lot of people that don't like me. A lot of people I've had bad interactions with. And I was not friends with good people at the time, and we just I had a bad business partner. I mean, she probably thought she had a bad business partner, right? So
we're always the bad person of someone else.
Yes, exactly. And so there was just a lot that happened, a lot of drama, a lot of things, and I felt like, well, I can't become a real estate agent. I can't change careers because a lot of people don't like me right now. And what can I do? Like, how do you... It's really hard to make things right when you weren't the person that wronged them, but they think that you are. Right. And it's a very interesting cycle. So I felt like, okay, everybody hates me. How am I going to do a new career? And then I realized, like, I get over it. Yes. Yeah, like, I am going to make things right with everybody that I can. Anybody that I did wrong, I've reached out to. We've had conversations, we've talked. I mean, this was like probably 3 years ago now. And so it's been like a process of growth and getting through those things and those hard conversations. And now I was like, okay, we can't let those things weigh us down. I mean, I have all this business experience. I have experience in sales. I have this. I have good friends. I have good family. I need to just follow my passion, and something that's always been calling me has been real estate. So I decided to retake my licensing exams and all that. I got licensed, and then so I got licensed probably about 6 to 8 weeks ago. Okay. But then you have to pay for GAR and your MLS and all these things. So I've only had those things for about 2 weeks now. 3 weeks. 3 weeks now, actually. Nice. I think. Okay. Yeah. So I've just been working every single day, and I've been really lucky, though. A lot of people 3 weeks in do not have 2 listings and a buyer and this and that. Yeah. So I think what you put into real estate is what you get out. And I have hustled it. I have been like, okay, day in, day out, like, I am going to spend the time and the energy and focus, which is something that I've never really done, right? So it's just been like this whole push into getting what I need to get, right? And I'm helping people, but I'm also like, okay, so we're getting to a point where we need to make some money, So now it's like getting these people into their dream homes while also selling the properties that I have listed. And it's kind of like a balance of doing both. And once that happens, then I'll get paid. So I have a lot in the works, but I haven't received a check from real estate yet. And I think for a lot of people, even going 2 weeks without a paycheck is scary.
They can't.
Yeah. So I think I haven't had a paycheck in a month, but I have had. I've worked with a construction company for a while. We've done a lot. I have a lot of different things that I've always done, right? That have paid off in different ways, which is really great because it's given me the opportunity to get into
to have
real estate.
that kind of
and also my mom has been very helpful and positive and very kind about the whole situation too, because I've had a lot of money in my lifetime. I've had no money. I've had a lot of money again, and I've had no money again. And I'm hoping next is a lot of money, right?
Yes. It's funny because I feel like for me, like growing up, I've always said, and I like to this day, I hold true to that. For me, I don't have like a money goal.
Yeah.
But my goal is to be able to just do whatever we want, go to the store, go eat without having to look at my bank account. And just be like, whatever, here's my card. I can pay for it. I don't, no matter what, I know I have money on the bank account.
Yeah.
And so I don't have like a precise number, but I want to be able to not look at the numbers and just say,
yes,
fuck it, I'll buy it. And, so yeah, and so like you said, for me at that point, I was pregnant, and I was like, and I was talking with, my real estate agent. Her name is Delilah, and we were talking, and she was like, yeah, so what you need to expect though is like you just said, countless hours working, all day, and then when do people have time to go see houses, and when do you have to show them? Is after hours, is on weekend, that's when they're available. And so, and at the time, it's all, being pregnant and all that. And I was like, oh, and then I don't know when I'm going to be paid, when, when it's going to really like work out. And I was like, oh, maybe it is not the curve for me. Maybe not. And my husband is amazing for that, because he was like, well, maybe not right now.
Yeah.
He said, don't close that door completely, but maybe that's something you'll enjoy later in life. And that's also why, if you think about it, I wonder if that's why you see a lot of like older people being like real estate agents.
Yes. I think it takes a lot to be settled. You have to feel comfortable and ready. And I've never started a business comfortable and ready. I've had a lot of money at one point where I didn't have to check my bank account, right? I'm like buying whatever I want. Great, right? And people say money doesn't matter. It does.
It does.
But then after that, I was like, oh, I want to serve others and do all these great things, which, oh my gosh, was not at all what I anticipated. So I lost all my money, right? Spent all my money on businesses, growing things, not really like lost, but that sounds like I was gambling. I'm like, but then all the money was gone, and I was focusing on a local goods shop and supporting small businesses and doing all these things, which the concept is great, but without the business knowledge of those things and how to actually achieve that, it's all downhill. So then we're like paying rent, we're barely making rent, and then you start getting a little money. And then you're like, okay, we need to be money focused as a business. We have to focus on money, and then you stop focusing on the people. And it just becomes this whole cycle. So then it's taken me a while, right, to realize that you can focus on people and money at the same time. So when you put people in their dream home, when you put people in a good situation, when you help people, the money is going to come regardless. But when you start focusing only on the money, the people don't come, and either does the money. So it's a very interesting thing, and something that I've really had to like learn and learn how to even just do things right, It's so hard in business to always do things right. You have rent to pay, you have your mortgage to pay, you have kids, I don't have kids, but you have all these, my business partner had kids. You have so many different things that you need to prioritize, while also you're trying to benefit the community and do all these great things for everybody else. And so it's a balancing act, and it's really, really difficult. And I think that I found myself in a really tough position because I wasn't able to balance those things. And so it was a lot that led me to the real estate and led me to realizing that it's the people that you have to help. And I never had a money amount either, but I had the same thing. I'm like, I want to once again, pay for things without having to worry about my bank account or worrying about what's in there or ever even asking somebody, should we split the check? Like, that is so, to me, I'm like, oh, that's awful. I just want to pay the check, you know? And so now it's just been, I'm like, I lost my point too because I start yapping, right? But it's like, it's just been such a process where you're like, oh, maybe later in life.
Right.
And I think that's why I'm still young, of course. But I think that if I got these 5 years in probably 10 or 20, I would have been more successful at all the things I did because I would have been more patient. However, I wouldn't be 23 and be in real estate. I would be 30 or I would be waiting. But I think that you have to go through a lot to be a good real estate agent. It's like we're all cut from the same cloth. Every realtor I've talked to, we're all very similar. We're all doing the same things, done the same things, been through the same trials and tribulations. And it's so interesting. Like, we're just, I think, right, that's the same cut from the same cloth. We're all, like, just trying to,
that's true.
We're all the same. Like, every time I interact with a realtor, I'm like, oh, we have so much in common. Like, that's so weird. Or people that even are like, oh, yeah, I've thought about doing real estate. Like, we all have so much in common. It's so interesting. And we just get along. Like, it just, we click. And I mean, I'm sure there's realtors that I won't like in the future or won't like me, whatever. But it seems like we're all very alike and very business driven and entrepreneurial, and it's just so interesting. Like, I think that that's, like you said, like, you start later because you have to go through all these things and find what you like.
You have to have the same, like, personality type to be a realtor, because also, I mean, and I feel like it's also very different from society, I feel, right now, because as a real estate agent, I feel like you have to be client focus.
Yes.
You have to know exactly what they want, what type of house, you know, in what neighborhood, and all their needs, not yours, their needs. And you have to, like, kind of hunt for them and bring it on, like, a silver platter to be like, hey, I found the perfect home for you.
Yes.
When we live in a society with social media where it's, you know, it's selling yourself and under the best lighting and all that. And and not really caring about the other person, but you. So, you know, I feel like it's interesting,
it's
too.
It's a very fine line between being selfish and also helping others, but you have to kind of be a little bit selfish to help the other people. In a way, like, I have to post about myself and talk about myself.
Oh, yes, in that sense. Yeah, that's true.
In order to get customers to help people, or I have to explain my story or explain myself from past situations and things like that in order to heal and recover, in order to get other people. You know, it's a very interesting cycle. And when I started my spas, I was very, like, I got all my clients from social media, posting, marketing, and so then I loved marketing. So then I started a marketing company, which was really nice, and I loved it. I still love marketing. But I found that in real estate, you're marketing the house, you're marketing yourself. You're kind of doing a combination of everything that I love and everything we're passionate about. And it's so interesting. Like, you have to, like you said, you literally have to find that house on a silver platter and be like, here, look, this is for you. And you find what they like. And sometimes, I mean, I know agents that have had clients for 6 or 7 years and can't find them the perfect house for whatever the reason is, you know? And that's what I mean too by, like, when you have the people and you're serving others, the money will come. Whether it's in a year or 10 years from now, you're helping that person constantly, consistently, and eventually the money will come. But if you're helping them, they're going to always be grateful, and they'll be like, wow, because a lot of people hate realtors. I mean, if you call a for sale by owner, they're going to yell at you. They're like, get off my phone, you know, and it's so funny because it's like, we're just trying to help, or maybe some aren't. I don't know if they've had bad experiences or what it is. But it's so interesting because it's like, well, I'm just trying to help you get more for your money. But also, like, hello, yeah, I would love a check. I would love to sell your house and make money off of it. But also, you now get 40 more grand because you chose a realtor to sell your house in. So it's such a balancing act constantly.
Yeah. Do you wonder if it's because also when you look at realtors, I feel like some in Albuquerque, they also look kind of like stereotypical in a sense, you know, it's like super pretty, like, you know, and then almost fake.
Yes.
And I don't mean any disrespect, but you know,
yes.
it's like the perfect, like white perfect teeth, and you have white perfect teeth. They're beautiful.
Thank you. I whiten them. I use Hueless.
No, but see, and then
local company here.
and you know, I want to commend you for that because they're really beautiful. But it's too perfect almost, and and I feel like sometimes it doesn't reflect maybe like the buyers.
Yes.
And maybe people, I don't know, sometimes feel like, you know, disconnected.
Yeah.
And
I
you
agree.
know, when you have a realtor showing up in like a Porsche or whatever you say that brand, or I should have said a Mercedes, whatever, like a big ass car.
Yes.
And you're like coming with your secondhand Ford Escape, you know, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, we're not the same. You know, it's almost like there's too much of a gap, maybe.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's a big thing. I've had a really hard time with that too. Is like, I don't look like a realtor. I mean, look, I'm all tattooed. I have color.
You look beautiful.
Thank you. And I have my own style, right? You know, and it's not the traditional realtor style. And that's always been a struggle for me too, is like, that's why I originally got into beauty, because I guess that was my dream as a kid, right? I want to be myself. I want to have tattoos. I knew I wanted my neck tattooed when I was like 8 years old.
Oh,
and
wow.
I don't know why my parents didn't have tattoos. I don't know where I got it from, but I've always liked colors. I've liked things that just weren't very like modern traditional style. I mean, even this shirt like is something that I've recently, a style that I've liked, but nothing that I used to like, you know. I would normally be like my boobs out and like very like bright and colorful and all these things, and I've just grown, you know. But it's so funny because I've never really fit that like realtor style, and I've always wondered if it would do better for me or worse. And so far it's doing better. I think I make people more comfortable and more open. They're more open to tell me things and be like, I like this and I like that. And also just having somebody too that like I don't really care about what you think your flaws are or anything, because I think you're great and I would love to learn more and all these things. And I think a lot of people are very like, okay, we got to get this down, this down, this down. And I'm just a little bit more open and colorful than most.
And I think that's very smart, but also it's important, and I think there is a public or a clientele for everybody.
Yes.
And so that's important to have like different people, because if you know, and at the same time I'm being hard too, because I'm sure that all those people also have incredible stories. And the podcast is open if you want to come and talk to me too. But you know, it's like that's what I hate sometimes about society, and I'm part of it, and I also have like my biases and the stereotype that you know you have, and so that's also what I want this podcast to be about. Is I don't give a crap about those famous celebrities and actors and stuff. They have their own platform to talk to. I want to give the mic to people like you and me. And you know,
every day.
So we also learn to know each other, and we don't just all look up to all those people, but we can, you know, look at each other and be proud. And that's also I like to say it in every podcast, and I really need to go and look up her name. Poor thing, I keep telling her story and what happened to her, and I don't remember her name. I need to go back to that episode. I think it was on Max, whatever. So this poor young girl, she got shot in the back of the head by like a boy she loved, and she didn't really love her back. And very long story short, she survived, and she was in high school, and now like one of her passion is growing flowers, and she was saying to the camera, and that kind of hit me hard, but she was saying, you see a rose, it's beautiful, right? And then you see a sunflower, it's beautiful, right? But they don't look nothing alike. Yet they're beautiful. And so she said, look at your neighbor. They're beautiful. And look at you, you're beautiful. But you don't look nothing alike, but you're both beautiful. And I was like, damn. Like, yes, you're right. It's so hard because society is so hard. I feel like right now, especially with all the social media stuff, it's hard to find yourself beautiful, because
it is.
On social media, you either see like full on makeups that are beautiful and amazing, but it's almost like women are not allowed to do that nowadays, because if you do, then people are like, well, she must be ugly under there. And it's like, what the hell? And then, so you have to also be natural, but not too natural.
Yeah,
and it's like,
enough.
Leave us alone, right? Yes. Just like, leave us alone. And that's also something I want to say every time. We're all beautiful. And I say that, and I always have a hard time still, but I'm growing. And like you, I think we live and we learn.
Yes, exactly.
And I love your tattoos. Do you want to tell us a little bit more about them?
Yeah. So going off of what you said, too, I think people always say, like, we're our harshest critics, right?
That is true.
And I don't know if it's true or if we are just worried so much about what other people might say or think, and we put it on ourselves, you know? Like, I'm like, oh, I wore a bun today. How lazy, you know? But I wanted to wear a bun today, you know? But lazy bun day, you know? Like, it's such a thing.
Oh, I love that.
So is it?
I've never heard that before. I'm going to use that now. Okay.
Yes. So it's like we're our harshest critics, but really it's just like, we're worried about other people's opinions of us and what we have to do then to recover from those opinions. And it's kind of like a weird dilemma, you know?
Right.
But going to my tattoos, I have this whole arm is like Japanese art inspired. I love it. It is so beautiful. I'm like, I don't know how to show it. But this is all done by Stilo G. He owns Tattoo Cadre. Okay. Stilo G _13 on Instagram.
Okay.
Awesome
we'll make sure
artist.
to share that too.
He did an amazing job. These ones are all random. This one's from my girl Isla Tats. She's on Instagram as well. She does lashes. She's amazing. This one, me and my best friend, we owned a mocktail bar for a while together. It's called Lux Lounge, so we both have, they're mocktails. They're martinis, but they're mocktails. I don't remember what drink she has, but this is the one I have. My orange, I had a student do on me, from when I had my salon, Alo. My logo was an orange, so she tattooed an orange.
Fun.
Yeah, this one's my dog. Yeah, this is kind of like a whole random arm, and then I have like this one, and my mom, of course. The traditional mom tat. Yeah, they just keep going. I have my chest done. I have little angels. Yeah.
Intuition. Wow, that's
this one's
so
from
pretty.
Isla Tats too. She did such an amazing job. So I have my angels. I have Grace. I don't know. They're not really in an order, but Grace was my mom's friend growing up and my family's friend, and she had passed away. My dad is one of them, and then my Nina, Debbie, she's one of them. So it was kind of like a perfect trilogy. And I feel like they are my intuition. I've never been very like believing in God or believing in a higher power, but I do believe in the universe, and I believe in spirituality a lot. And so I've always felt like I have really good intuition. I just do. I know something's going to happen before it happens. I know what's going on all the time. You know, like it's like something in me. And so I always feel like those are my angels telling me what's happening or trying to guide me in the right direction. And so I was like, oh, let's do a tattoo. And so she did it. This was one of her first tattoos ever. She killed it. She did an amazing job. This was one of her first tattoos too. And then my best friend has a bunch of flowers on her now, too, also from Isla Tats. She's great.
Wow. That's so amazing. And it's funny because I see some cherry blossoms. I have some cherry blossoms on my arms.
I was looking at that. It's so pretty.
And it's funny because I have one.
Yeah.
It has a lot of meaning in just this one.
Yes.
But so it's 7 because there's 7 of us, my brothers and sisters. But it's cherry blossom because it's blooms in the spring, and I'm born in the spring. But also it means, the signification is like it's a beautiful flower that blooms for like 2 weeks, so it has a beautiful life but short life. And so that kind of is a little winky to my mom, who died young. And so and I've always been like thinking that I wanted more. But and so, and mine comes from I hope I'm not gonna say it wrong, Jake, I'm so sorry if I do. It's from Wild Coyote Tattoo in Edgewood, from Jacob Larazzolo. Yes, I think that's his
I
last
think you
name.
said it all right.
So
I can
which
never say last
is,
names.
yeah, he's amazing too. He's a friend of my husband, and he just does amazing work too. And now he's kind of like shifting into something else. So no,
That's
crazy.
awesome.
So I love tattoos too, and it's funny because growing up, my dad always said, if you have a tattoo, I'll how do you say that? You know those sheets that you use to like
Like the copper ones, or like the
to do the walls and
Yes.
stuff. It was like I would take that to take it off, or if you have piercings, I would just like pull them out, and we were always like, okay, never mind. And so when I moved here and I was 8,000 miles away, and actually we were also not talking at some point.
Yeah.
I was like, I am gonna have a tattoo.
Yes.
and I did, but
I wanted a
Yeah.
tattoo as far as I can remember. My mom had one tattoo on her back that she got with her first husband. That was like a Mickey Mouse thing that's since been covered up. But I was like, I want a tattoo. I want tattoos. And my dad never had any tattoos. I was like, I want my throat tattooed. Like, I used to want hands choking. I don't know. I was like 8 years old. I don't know what I was going through. Like, oh my God.
I was gonna say, let's talk about that. That sounds a little weird.
I don't know. I think I saw it on Pinterest or something like that. And I was
and
like,
you're like, oh, that's
ooh,
cute.
I want
Okay.
this. Yeah. I mean, that's all I can really think
Who
of.
were you,
but
Isabella?
I know, right? And like, I came out and I'm like, tattoo me. Like, art. So I have like all these different tattoos and things, but I always wanted a tattoo. Always. So since I was like 8 years old, I'm like, Mom, please let me. My mom's like, no, they're ghetto and all these things, right?
Okay.
Which is so funny because she doesn't think any of that now, right? Because I think I've changed her concept of a lot of things. And so I just wanted tattoos. And so on the day before I turned 18, my mom took me and I got this one, which was an 8-hour piece.
As your first tattoo?
Yes. I'm telling you, I was set on the tattoo situation.
Wow.
So this is my
It
first
looks so
piece.
good on the thing, too.
I knew it does, huh? I'm like, wow, I love it. But yeah, I got this tattoo first, and then I got, I don't even know, and then I think I got the flower, and then I got, I think, this flower, and then I got this one. I don't even know the
I
order,
love the
really.
red. It looks so beautiful on you.
Thank you. Yeah, I really, really love it. This whole sleeve is definitely my favorite. I just love it. And then these ones are really all random. I wanted something really organized and cohesive and beautiful. And then this side, I'm like, ooh, tattoo me.
Right?
And then I have one on my thigh too, which is so funny because I have, me and my boyfriend, we just started dating, and he actually drew it for me about 9 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And so he drew it for me, and I got it done probably like 4 or 5 years ago. I got it tattooed. And so now we're dating, and I have a giant piece of his art on me.
On you?
Forever,
Oh, wow.
which is so funny. But it just kind of happened that way. But I've just always loved art. I went to an art school for a while. Media Arts Collaborative Charter School is what it was called. And I learned a lot about art, photography, videography, podcasting, everything, really. It was an amazing school, graphic design. And that school really changed me a lot. And then I just loved it. I went to Catholic school before that, which was so funny. But I'm not a Catholic.
Yeah, and see, it's funny because I had that like growing up too, and for me, it's kind of, I don't know how it was for you or how your parents are, but for me, it was kind of like more of a wish from my dad for us to have a sort of religious education.
Yes.
Because at the time, for me growing up in Brussels, there was a lot of like terrorist attack and a lot of and I mean, to me, like freedom of religion for everybody, but there was a lot of like Muslim radicals.
Yeah.
And so my dad was like, well, if I give them this Catholic education, then they won't need to go and find something they lack or they need, you know, they'll have like a base, and then they can make their decisions from themselves. But I feel like at that time there was a lot of like of those radicals that would go and try to recruit like young lost people that, you know, according to my dad, didn't have any like baseline of anything and would just like let themselves be radicalized into something else.
I think that's really easy for people to get into. I mean, if you look at like Scientology, well, please don't come for me, Scientologists. Like if you watch documentaries and things like that, a lot of it is due to low self-esteem, lack of finding something, having something, and then they end up getting into this religion. And or cults or things like that, you know, not not saying Scientology is a cult. Please don't come for me. But I've just watched a lot of documentaries and things on different religions and different things. And it really does all stem with that. I mean, I think that's how people find Jesus, too, and Christians find all these things, is it all starts kind of with like a baseline of needing more or finding more.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree with you. I feel like also religions are fascinating because also not just that. So to me, especially when you look throughout history with like powerful people, and this is going to be controversial, but like even when you look at Hitler, I feel like there's a lot of people on this planet that have the power to persuasion.
Yes,
and to me, and that's also controversial, religion falls into that, and sometimes it's hard for me to believe that people follow or believe a book that was written thousands of years ago. But in the meantime, like people that come with like scientific proofs of stuff nowadays, or write a book about, you know, something they actually have knowledge of, people are like, oh no.
Yeah. I always have wondered what the difference is between reading a book and believing it, and reading a book and not believing it, or hearing from somebody and believing it, and hearing from, like, is somebody just a better liar? Are they telling the truth? You know, there's it's so hard to tell. I've recently been really trying to educate myself on different religions and different spiritualities and different everything, just to kind of see if I want to be on the spectrum of any of those things, or if I mean, I still don't know, but I've read the Bible, I've been watching TV documentaries, I've been watching all these different things, and it's so interesting because there's no evidence of anything ever. I mean, at all. It's all about faith. I guess it's just all about what you believe and what you choose to believe something, and you just need to die for that. Like, you need to believe it hardcore enough that it will sustain you the rest of your life. And I haven't found anything like that for myself, really.
No, I agree. And, you know, growing older, I also feel like for me, I'm also realizing that a lot of people are into religion or belief because sometimes, and I don't mean to diminish anybody by saying that, but sometimes I feel like it's easier to put your fate into a higher power or into someone else, and saying, well, if God will, or if God, what did I say? If God wants it, it's gonna happen.
Yes.
No,
you gotta get up and get it.
Yes, but and at the same time, what I love too is telling people, like, I commend you for that. Good job, like for real, like not even like, you know, and again, not diminishing anybody, but you did that, you know, like you did all your businesses and you woke up all those days, and like God didn't come and tap your shoulder to say, hey, Isabella, it's time to wake up, go work, you know. No, you're doing that, and I commend you for that. But it's again, like it's a really like shortcut that I'm taking too. Because I'm sure that for a lot of people, their faith is more than just putting their fate into someone else's hand. But I just feel like also God is an excuse sometimes, a lot for a lot of people. And I don't know. I wish that we would just care for each other more than sometimes some people care about God.
Yes. Yeah.
And, you know, and
I think a lot of people aren't, something I've really discovered in my studies of religion, you know, is a lot of people are just fake religious. They're just fake. And that's just it. Like, they are not real Christians. They've never read the Bible. They don't even care what God really says. Like, God says to love everybody. Yes. And yet they're hating on the gays. They're hating on people that are trans. And it's ridiculous. That is not at all. You are not a real Christian if you hate anyone. And that I have studied and watched everything and read the Bible, you know, and I've talked to real, genuine Christians and real people that are really true in their religion, whatever it is. And pretty much every religion, the basis is love and care. I mean, a majority of the time at least. And so it's very interesting.
I want this podcast to be for everybody and not just like for a universe believer, whatever. No, because I think that everything is interesting. And I've never been, and I don't think from what I'm learning from you that you're the same way, but it's so boring to just talk to people that just believe the same thing as you.
Yes.
we don't know the truth. They don't know the truth either.
Nobody
and
knows.
you know, and that's why I just love talking about that. And,
I think it's really easy for people to pretend, you know, or and it use God as an excuse to hate people, like gays. Like people are, they're like, oh, he made Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve, and it's like,
oh, I've never heard that before. That's
really, yes.
Oh my God, for real.
I've seen and I've heard that, and it's so funny to me because I'm like, well, he made man and woman because he wanted more people on the planet.
Yeah.
Not because he said you have to love women or love men or whatever. Like, it's so interesting. And now that I've like read the Bible and really,
but then
looked
also
at things
God didn't
too.
God didn't make anyone, but you know,
Yes,
that's another discussion
exactly.
too. It's like, you know, what about evolution? What about, I have a colleague that's really like has strong beliefs about that and is like, well, in the Bible they don't talk about the dinosaurs, but they existed, so
Yeah.
then what? And I'm like, well, just tell me.
Yeah, you're all, I don't know.
Right.
Yeah. No, there's lots of things. It's so interesting because it's like, I think if you believe the Bible and you believe what you really read, right, then God made everybody in his likeness, in
Right.
his presence. So you're a version of God. He loves you. That person's a version of God that you hate. That's a version of
Right.
God. So if they do believe the Bible, then why don't they believe those facts? Why aren't they believing those things and caring for one another like they're supposed to?
Yeah.
It's a very interesting thing.
And see, I love the discussion about religion because I think that neither one of all the planet has an answer or knows the truth. And it's like, it's important for me that on the podcast, everybody knows that they're all welcome to talk about their own beliefs. And it's not because we don't match their beliefs that, you know, they are not welcomed. I love hearing about different experiences and different beliefs because I respect everyone's belief. I just wish that it was the same for everyone because sometimes I do feel like because of my beliefs, people are like, oh, or you know what I mean? It's like, oh, for some reason, and it's always like people that are religious, when you don't believe the same as they do, all of a sudden then you're less or, you know, or you're not as interesting. And yeah, that's a little discouraging.
For me, something that I've always really wanted to be was a Christian, I guess. I've always wanted to kind of follow in that path, the white picket fence, you know, that. I mean, I didn't really want to follow in the white picket fence, but, you know, going a little bit more of that. But I've also wanted to become a Christian and show people what Christianity really can be, too, and what it is. Because when you see these Christians that aren't really Christians, sorry, you need to really like read the Bible or something because it's all about love and it's about a lot of positive things, but then they judge you and they're like, oh, well, you don't believe in God, you're pathetic, or you're this or you're that. But really, I feel like, for me, everybody's beliefs are true.
Yeah.
If you believe it, then it's real.
Oh, right, yes.
Just like the poor people that have schizophrenia, right? They know that they're talking to someone. They are talking to someone. It's a real thing.
Right.
It's not that they're crazy. It's not this. They're seeing somebody. They are talking to someone just like I'm talking to you. And it's so interesting because it's like your beliefs are what make you you. And why would I devalue that in any way and be like, no, you're not. You're pathetic. You don't believe in God. You don't believe in this. And I mean, I don't really know what I believe in at this point. I mean, like, I'll figure it out, right? But
you're
lost. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'm lost. Like, it's so crazy and funny, like, how people are so judgmental.
Yes.
When that's not what God or really any religion that you look at teaches.
Right.
They teach you to love one another. They teach you that you were made in either the image of the universe or God or whatever you believe in. And yet, why would I hate you? Love thy neighbor, right? Like, isn't that the whole thing?
Yeah. And see, and for me too, it's like religion has to come back to we're all equals and we need to love each other. And to me, it's just like all that the principles that you just talked about. Yeah. Isn't that just being a human?
Yes.
You know, it's
you
like
would think, you would hope, huh?
So because I'm not labeled a Christian, I don't love my neighbor. I don't do good actions, and you know, I don't deserve to go wherever is the afterlife.
I think that people look for religion or a higher power or something to believe in because they need it, right? We all need something. We all need beliefs.
That is true.
We all need beliefs of some sort, right? because that's what makes us who we are, no matter what your beliefs are. But I think that when people put those beliefs to be negative or hate people because of who they are, or hate people because of what they like, you're not really following any kind of higher power.
Oh, no.
You're just
Yeah.
kind of being a piece of shit. And that's like not fair to people. And that's why a lot of people have such deep religious scarring. And I mean, we both went to Catholic school, right? So it's like, no wonder we become atheists and become like believers of different things.
Yeah.
Because the scarring is so deep. I mean, you feel like if you're not wearing the skirt the right length, you are going to hell. And so for a lot of people, they're so scarred from religion because of other people's actions. And that's why I like studying religions and looking up things, because what is it that has scarred me, or what is it that makes me not want to believe? Is it people? Or is it the actual religion itself?
Right.
And it's just made me gain such a deeper respect for people who are religious, like Christians that really are Christians and really follow things, Muslims, Scientologists, anybody that believes in anything, Mormons, all of it. I mean, if you have that belief system and you really follow the teachings, you're going to be a great person because you're going to love thy neighbor, you're going to respect each other, you care about others. But if you're not really following the teachings, you don't really end up being a good Christian or a good Mormon or a good whatever. You end up just scarring other people. So I think it's something that people really need to take a deep look at themselves. And if you're saying that you're a Catholic, then you better act like one. If you're saying you're a Mormon, you need to really, truly look at the religion and not just go to church and not just hate gays and hate the trans and hate this or illegals or all these things.
Yeah, right.
Because that's what your religion taught you. But that's not religion, that's people. And it's so interesting how people will just follow whatever they think and not really the religion.
That is. And see, for me too, like I have such a different like vision of religion, in the sense that for me growing up, we would go to church, and we would not even go every Sunday. But the thing is, for us, church is like this stone building with like those beautiful windows and all the art, and and to me, when those churches were built and they didn't really have that technology, it's like, to me, then I understand people believed because it was almost like a miracle. And all those cathedrals and the basilicas and the churches. And then when I first came to America, I was 18, and I went to visit my godfather in Texas, and I remember we just drove by a church, and he said, "Hey, this is a church." And I looked, and it was a building with a cross on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is not a church.
Yeah.
What the hell are you talking about? This is not a church. And that's also sometimes something I struggle with, because sometimes you see those like the mega church, like those huge buildings. And it's like, oh yeah, you're going to church, but you go and there's like just someone with a mic talking, and it's just like a plain building, and it's like you're going to a conference.
Yes.
And it's like, and you have to pay I'm going to call it a subscription. It's not the right term. It's like, because that's also the first thing my godfather told me when I came to visit him. It was like, oh yeah, here you have to like give so much of your income, and you have to pay and this and that. Yeah. While in Europe, when you go to church, I mean, at some point they do like have a little basket going around, and during, I think, communion or whatever, and you give or you don't, but really it's like up to you. And the church's door are always open during Mass. You don't have to be affiliated to the church to come and sit down for Mass. Yeah. And so that was always weird to me, this like almost, I can't say that, but like for I don't know. I'm not going to go there, but
it's a tricky conversation.
Yes.
Huh? I think that the Catholics are amazing with interior design. I mean, I went to one of the cathedrals in New York. I don't remember which one it was, but it was stunning. It's beautiful. It's works of art. Yes. It really is. But then you go to like some of the more modern day churches, and it's just like some white walls and some flowers, and that's it. And you're like, oh, this is nice. And I think it all comes down to what you believe, right? I mean, for me, my form of religion would be helping others. My form is like, I want to go to homeless shelters and hand out food. I want to go to food shelters. I want to give money to the homeless on the street. I want to actually help people and find a way to make a difference. And it doesn't really matter what religion. I am, right? That's just my form of religion, is actually genuinely helping people. And there is a lot from the Bible. There's a lot from the Mormon Bible. There's a lot from the Scientologists that are just great for people to actually believe and have and hold true to their beliefs. But it doesn't mean that you have to be any of those religions or that you have to fall in line or fit those standards. I think it's just really good to like educate yourself on different beliefs and things, just because if it makes you a better person, it's better to do, you know? Like, you shouldn't steal, you shouldn't cheat, you shouldn't kill, you shouldn't lie, you shouldn't murder, you know, all these crazy things. It's like, duh.
Right, but again, like, again, isn't that being like a normal human being? It's like, you know, I feel like I want to put power into us, and same as when I say for the podcast that I'm interested in you and me and you know, and all of us. That's how I feel the same way with the beliefs. I'm like, I want to put powers back in people and say, no, like, take credit. You did that. And if you want to do XYZ project or thing, believe in yourself and you can do it and do it. And of course, if it helps, you know, for you to, you know, pray, or who am I to judge, you know?
If religion makes you better, I'm glad. I am not bothered. If religion makes you worse, you need to get your shit together, because that is not the purpose of any religion ever. No religion was ever created or built or discovered to make people worse. It was all to make people better. It was to help people who are dying, help people who are elderly, help people who are sick. And really, that's like the whole purpose of anything that people believe in. But some people just use it as an excuse to be an awful human. And it's like, it's so ironic, because it's like, that is not what it was made for at all.
No, and I think something that also maybe bothers me in there, and then maybe we can switch up subject to, but is like to see all those mega churches and all those mega priests, and because also like there's so many different branches of Christian, Catholic, whatever. In America, there's so many different types of churches. I'm like, I can't follow. But all that to say that all those priests or pastors or the heads of churches, excuse me, driving on private jets and wearing whatever. And it's like, huh? Like, excuse me? Is that really what church is about? Is that really what God is about, and your belief, and just taking money from your or you call the people from the church, and just like, you know, and then also like the non-taxing thing. I'm like, all right, okay.
It's all what people are driven by, right? So like with the mega churches, a lot of the people that go to those mega churches do tend to be driven by money or success or wealth, and they find those to be better characteristics in people. So they're going to go and they're going to learn from those people, which is great. If that makes you a better human, like I said, cool. Yeah. If it makes you a worse human because now you're putting people behind and putting profits ahead, then maybe you need a different religion, or maybe you need to take a look at yourself. Yeah. But it just depends, right? But then at the same time, if some homeless man is preaching to you and you're listening and that's benefiting your life, that's awesome. That's great. But if you're saying, screw this homeless man, he doesn't know what he's talking about, he's on the street, then maybe you're not that great of a Christian. You know, it's just such a scale. It's so hard. It's like a spectrum of where you fall and what you believe in and who you are. But if you're just doing better and you're helping people, that's great. I mean, that's all anybody can ask for, right? Based on what you're driven by. You got to use what you're driven by to make the world a better place. Like, I am driven by money. I'm driven by success. I'm driven by helping people. So how can I put those things together? Then I can maybe make the world a better place in some sort of way. Whereas if I was driven by drugs and alcohol, then it's much harder to make the world a better place. It just kind of depends on what you're driven by, you know?
Yeah. And see, it's funny because I feel like I used to dance, and see, like, before a show, sometimes like one of the dancers would like give a prayer, you know, and some, but what is it really? It's a motivation, speech, right?
Or security.
Yeah, and so that's why sometimes I'm like, why is it that in society we feel more comfortable giving like a motivational speech through God, and not just being confident enough to just take the step forward and say, no, I'm going to motivate all of you to give your best and do your best, you know? So, yeah, I think it's also eternal conversation.
Yes.
And I think I think whatever you believe, nobody means any harm or wrong. And unless, like you
Yes.
said, unless you do, and then maybe it's not the right belief for you at that
Or a
point.
lot of people, I think, do harm. They do good and they use religion as an excuse, but also people
Oh,
do harm and they use
use,
religious as an excuse. Like there was that shooting at the gay nightclub. I don't remember which one it was because there's been a few now, right? But the guy's reason was that being gay is against his religion and it's against God and all these things. And it's like, okay, so you just committed what God doesn't want you to commit because he doesn't like gays. Like, come on. We should all love thy neighbor. I mean, I love the
right.
gays. I love the trans. I love every single person on this
Yes.
planet that's not a shitty human. It doesn't matter to me who you like, who you love, what you are. Not at all. I
No.
like everybody. I love everybody. But if you are a bad human, I don't like you. And I'm not going to pretend either. I'm just not somebody
Right,
that can
yeah.
do that. Like, I mean, there's people that are assaulting women and doing these things. I immediately, like, DV, assault, all of that, I will immediately never talk to that person ever again. That's not my thing. If you hate gays and trans and you are talking badly about my people that I love, I am never going to talk to you
Right.
again. And that doesn't, and it's not based on my religion. It's not based on anything other than my morals, my beliefs, and my standards. And it's just like, I love everybody, regardless, you
Right.
know? I don't care what you look like, who you are, who you like. It just doesn't matter. But if you are just a crappy person,
Yeah.
it's just not a friend I need to have, you know? It's very simple.
No, that makes sense. And thank you for saying that. Thank you for owning it too. I think it's so important these days that to just keep saying how it's important to that we're different, but it's also important to say that we're all lovable no matter who we
Yes.
are, what we do, what we decide to say or think. And it's very scary sometimes when you see that the world is evolving some like tremendously,
Yes.
and then it's not at the same time. And so we're kind of, I feel like, living in a duality of a world right now where it's okay to be yourself and to, you know, like Kushake last week, Ethan was talking about like that he loves putting nail polish.
Yeah.
And I just love that. I'm just like, please, yes, own it. But I come from
Yes.
a world where when I was younger, if a man would put nail polish, people would be like, are you gay? And it's like,
Yeah.
and what if? And what if not? Like, just let people do
Yes.
whatever they want to do.
Exactly. I have always been that way. I have never cared what, and my dad, he was like the older generation, right? A little bit more weirded out by gays, anti-gay. And I think I changed him a lot before he passed because he was a lot more supportive. My cousin's gay. He's like, I would always love him. It's like,
Nice. There
good,
you go.
yeah, good,
yeah.
as you should.
Right.
And I think with those kinds of people, it's like, well, why are you? You're so scared of something that maybe you're not, or maybe you are. And I think that's a lot. That's a big thing, right? I think like if you see a gay person and you're like, oh, that's awful. Like, why do you feel that way?
Yeah, there
What?
must be something in you that's like driving
Yes.
you to.
There's some sort of reason that you have that hatred or whatever it is. Elderly people, it doesn't matter what it is. Young people, babies. I mean, I don't like babies, but please don't. I don't like kids. But you know, it just. But why do I not like kids? Right? Like it's like a whole thing, and it's like whatever you don't like or whoever you don't like. What is
There's
the reason?
something there.
What is that? Yeah, it's not always because God doesn't like the gays or whatever.
Right.
You know, it's just. It's so bizarre to me. I like everyone. I don't care. And so one thing I've really learned, right, is that people need people. They need people to care about them and believe in
Yes.
them and fight for them. And I mean, I'm somebody who's always gone to like the BLM marches and the LGBTQ parades and things like that because I always will believe that people should be able to be themselves and they're loved and they're valued regardless of skin color, race,
Yeah.
nationality, their illegal status,
Right.
you know? It's so interesting to me. I'm like, I just think everybody needs to have respect. And then when you find out they're a shitty person, you don't need to give them the respect.
Right.
You can choose to not have that person in your life anymore. Just as if I'm a shitty person, I hope you choose to not have me in your life anymore because I'm not serving you. I'm not doing anything beneficial for you. But I don't think it matters what I am or who I am. especially because I am a straight female, right? A white girl.
Right? Yeah, I know. We're both whiteies talking about
Yes, I'm like, I have a lot of privilege going on compared to somebody who doesn't,
Right.
you know? It's just so interesting.
I know. I feel like strongly too, because growing up, yeah, like my maiden name is Van den Haven. It's a very Dutch last, no, Dutch last name, and I'm from
Yeah.
Belgium, so I've always had privileges. Like I
Yes.
started working when I was 14, and I always like to hold strongly on that, and tell myself that I did that, I worked and I worked my ass off. But I
Me too.
also know that, it was easier for me to find those student
Yes.
jobs and stuff, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I've been working since I was 14 as well. I started as a lifeguard, as a cashier. I started with the city, and I just job.
Right.
But I did have some privilege, right? I mean, I went to Catholic school. I went to media arts, which I learned a lot about photography and things. I was able to really get a good education in my early years, where a lot of people aren't because of where they live or anything. I mean, my dad had businesses, so I was able to get that entrepreneurial,
Yes.
hardworking education and
Experience,
spirit
too.
that a lot of people don't have, and it's not their fault.
No.
A lot of people, I mean, also, they don't have any privilege, but they know how to work and they can get themselves where they need to be. But some people just don't have that work ethic in them either. And it's just, it collapses.
right.
It's awful.
And then you only see the end result. We were talking about that with Aritza, because she didn't grow up with wealth, but her and her
Yes.
family, they worked their butt off, and they still do.
Yeah, every
And
day.
and they're wealthy now, and
Yeah.
and it's and that's all people see. And it's like, no, there's more. There's more to
Yes.
her, and you need to also look at the journey. And I think a lot of people just hate and or jealous,
Yes.
or also with social media too. I feel like, because you see the end result, you see the magnet lady that says that she just sold for $250,000 of magnets last year, and you're like, fucking shit, I need to get into that business.
Yes.
But you don't see the years of struggles. You don't see how
Yes.
much of investment she put in it,
Yeah.
time or money wise.
People don't really care to look deeper than what they see. And I think that's a big thing, is like, especially when I was going through a lot of the hardships that I had in my businesses, people were just very cut and dry about everything. And it was like, well, actually, you don't know that this happened that
Right.
day, or this happened, or this happened. I mean, the day my dad died, I had a marketing client, right? And I ended up losing the client because I wasn't responding to her. And I felt awful, right? I'm like, hey, I'm so sorry. And I mean, she's great. She was a
Yeah.
great person. But it's like things like that, right? Where it's like people are so easy to be like, oh,
Right. Oh,
that
next.
didn't work. This didn't work. You did this on purpose. You did this to hurt me. You did this. And it's just not like that. Things are a lot deeper than they seem. Always. I always try to understand and like try and see where people are coming from and what really happened to them that day. And I'm not a very naturally empathetic person. I'm just not. Never have been. But I try to look at things deeper than what they are, because otherwise I'm just reacting and I'm not actually looking at the situation. And that's something that being in those shitty situations has taught me.
Right.
Is, oh, okay, I'm like, no, I wasn't trying to hurt you. This is what happened. I wasn't trying to steal. I wasn't trying to do this. I wasn't trying to do that. Or it wasn't even me, but I'm getting blamed. And that was a lot of what I had went through like the last few years, and that's something I really had to work through, insecurity wise, confidence wise, and even just being able to tell people like, this is what really happened, this is what didn't happen. And people have a greater understanding when you reach out to them and you tell them those things, but they're so quick to be like, oh, no, you just suck, you're a shitty person, nobody should ever work with you again. And you're like, no, that's not what it is.
And see, I feel like it's funny because I talked about it at the very first episode with Melissa about I had this story where I went to the store with my husband and my son in the back, and we're like driving in the Walmart parking lot and trying to find a spot, and then I see a spot, but there's this like older lady that's like that has her cart right in front of the empty spot, and she's like taking her sweet time to take her groceries and put them in her trunk. And I'm like, oh my God, really? And I'm in behind the wheels, and I'm like, oh my God, really? For real? Like, she could not have put your cart on the other side of your car. And my husband looked at me and he was like, what's wrong with you? I was like, are you for real? He was like, are we in a hurry? And I was like, no. well, so let her be. Like,
Yeah.
it's just going to take 2 more minutes and you're going to be able to park and the world is still going to be turning and everything's
it's like
okay.
the devil and the angel on the shoulder, right? Because I'm like, screw you, get
Right.
your car out of the way.
Right.
But I know better. I'm like, oh my God, I'm being such a shitty person.
Uh-huh.
Like this poor old lady. Maybe I should get out and help
And
her.
help her, right?
But you don't think that at the time. It's just like, oh, this is so
Oh,
annoying.
yes, but we don't take the time anymore. And Melissa had a similar story, where she was like going home and she has like a really long stretch of like road and you can't really like pass at that point, and that person was going the speed limit and she was not even in a hurry, but she wanted to get home and stuff, and she started to like pressure and stuff and getting mad, and then she realized that person actually was her neighbor or was living in the neighborhood, and she was like, and then she had like that moment of, what am I doing?
Yes.
Like, it's, what am I trying, like, what time am I trying to gain? What am I, and I feel like a lot of us don't realize that sometimes on the road, when someone, first of all, we're always the bad drivers of someone else.
Yes, right? I'm probably a horrible driver, but I think I'm so good.
Right? And in the meantime, we're mad at so many people, like, oh, go off the ramp faster, on the ramp faster, do this, that. And it's like, no, and we don't, but we have no idea what those people are going through, or they don't even know what we're going through. And it's like, so yeah, I think that's also good advice sometimes too, like you just said, first of all, communicate.
Yes.
But also, if it's not you, but that other person that is late or that is having like seemingly like a bad day, well, take the time, go to your colleague and say, hey, are you okay today?
Yeah.
Or is there anything I can do? Like, or I see that you look annoyed. Is there anything I can help you with? Or anything. Just be a human being and not just...
It's all practice. I mean,
That's true.
it's so easy to be like, oh, I'm going to be a better person. But then you fuck up and then you're like, oh no, I can't do this. I can't do that. Oh my God, I'm a failure. But that's not what it is. It's practice day in, day out. Your first thought is going to always be, oh my God, why is this lady's cart on the side of the road?
Right.
But then you have to kind of like retrain yourself. I mean, I've had 22 years of life to learn things and relearn things. I mean, you've had, how old are you?
31.
31. Yeah, you've had 31 years
Yes.
of life teaching you that why is this lady in the road, And it's such a small thing. I always try to think like, oh, maybe maybe they're carrying a wedding cake. Maybe they're doing this. Maybe they had the worst day of their life. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
But then at the same time, I'm like driving. I'm like, can you please hurry up? I have places to be and things to do. But that's why, like, we have so much road rage and so many incidents is because people don't have patience and they're not practicing every day being a better human. And that's the thing is I've learned I need to every single day show up and be a better person every day. And if I make a mistake in this process, I need to tell people like, hey, I am sorry that this happened. I apologize. And taking accountability and learning and going through, whereas it used to be so easy for me to just be like, screw you.
Oh, it's
like,
so
it's
much
not
easier.
my mistake, right? So I've had a lot of time where I've reached out to people and been like, hey, I'm so sorry that this happened. I'm so sorry our relationship ended because of XYZ. This is my side of things. And if you, like, not even try, it's such a balance, right, of trying to explain yourself in the situation without making excuses. So I've tried to recently just be like, hey, this is what really happened. You can, now that you have this information, you can decide how you feel about it. Right. And I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm trying to tell you what really happened. But it's such a fine line of like, this is what happened and this is what didn't. And then when the rumor mill starts, it's so much easier for people to say, no, this is what happened. I was there without seeing the other side of the story. So I always try and like, it's not even as much about clearing my name or clearing up things as it is just like, oh, this is what happened, XYZ, And people can form their own opinions when they have both sides of the story. Whereas otherwise they're hearing one side and they're like, oh, you're a shit person, you're a piece of shit, and that's it.
And you know what? You're really strong because I think it's an ego thing, right? Yes. To be able to, or not, but to either like stand in your corner and say, oh, well, she's never going to believe me, or it's like, I'm not going to lose my time. It's like a lost cause, whatever. But no, you own, the story, and you're like, no, you went to those people and talked to them. And so honestly, I mean, it's impressive for your age too, to be able to, take a step back, take your ego off your chest and be like, no, I'm going to talk to these people.
Yeah.
And
it's taken a lot. It has taken a lot. I mean, some people know more than others, like what it has been. And it has been a process, And I've always had a big ego ever since I was little, for whatever reason. I think it's genetic, because my dad always had a big ego, he's a used car salesman. So it's something that I've really had to retrain. I mean, my dad used to always be like, F them all. Like, if they want to think that, then they'll think that, F them. And then I kind of realized, like, I was that way for a long time. I'm like, oh, you don't like me? Like, screw you, not my problem. Whereas now I've really been like, you don't have to like me, but you do need to know why you don't like me. And I need to know why I don't like you. And we need to actually have a conversation and be respectable to one another and see what the line is, what the issue is, what really happened, what are we really mad about, what is the frustration, rather than just being like, F you, like, what an old man way of thinking. Who's such a grumpy old man.
And it's funny because, it just happened like a couple weeks ago now, 2-3 weeks maybe. Like, we had this like big thing with my sister and my dad, so they were not talking. I started talking to my dad when I got pregnant. Because I was just like, it's okay, I'm just gonna, same as you, I'll just put the ego aside, and I want him to be in my life and in my son's life. And it's been such a better relationship since. But my sister wasn't talking to him, and so it's she's about to get married. And we were talking, it was just her birthday, and so I was like, hey, we were talking, and I was just like, well, because she misses my dad, and she would like my dad in her life. And so, I was like, you know what, just... But she was also in a situation where she was just thinking that, saying that she didn't want to do the whole 100%, but she was ready to do a step. And so I was like, your step is you want to see my dad, but you don't want to see my stepmother.
Yes.
But that is that is how you feel, and that is okay to feel like that. And so I told her, I was like, well, you and it's her fiance that contacted my dad because it was for the surprise party, la la la. But, he invited him, saying that, she's not really ready to talk to my stepmother. But, she would really like to see him and start talking again. But then I told my sister was scared to death, and she was like, yeah, but, he's never going to agree because this and that with our stepmother. And I was like, no, but you know what? You offered him. Yeah. And then it's his decision. Yes. Then whatever he decides, it's on him, and then he can only blame himself or not. But then you're in the clear with yourself. Yes. And and so that's why I think it's also important in life is to realize that we all have the right to have our own feelings. Yes. And it's okay. And I feel like you just said also the older generation is a lot of negativity and a lot of. No, we have to adapt.
It's a lack of growth, for sure, and maturity. A lot of people, I mean, I think especially in New Mexico, right, people that grew up in poor communities. I mean, my dad's from California, but he grew up in a poor community. He came here, he was in a poor community. And my siblings, poor things, they were all raised in a poor community because he was like 14 having kids. So it's just such a difference. Yeah, but I think that that's where the ego, the lack of education, the lack of understanding, all these come from a lot of just lack of, you have to go out every day and you got to work your ass off. And if this person hates you, you got to tell them F you because you got to go to work and you got to get your shit done. But when you really think of it from a greater understanding, it's like, I have this belief of like, let them, if you want to forgive me, I'm going to let you. If you don't want to forgive me, I'm going to let you.
But it's their decision.
Yes, exactly. And I'm going to let it be your decision. But I'm going to come to you and I'm going to tell you I'm sorry. Right. And if you want to keep telling people that I'm the monster in your story or whatever it is, right? I don't think I've ever really done anything that bad, but whatever. If I'm going to be the monster in your story, I'm going to be the monster in your story regardless. But you know what? I apologize to you. And if you can't be a bigger person and say, hey, you know what? Right. I forgive you or I don't forgive you. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But at least I know that in my heart, I have done better for you. And I have pushed to do better. And I always put, like, if it's a text where I'm like, I'm sorry, I always put, like, you don't have to respond. You don't have to forgive me. I just wanted to tell you this. And it is kind of selfish, too, to, like, want to reach out and bother people and tell them, like, oh, I know it's been 6 years or 10 years, but I'm sorry.
Yeah, but if your heart needed it, that's You know, that's all that matters.
And you don't know, maybe their heart has been waiting for something. Maybe you did disrupt their life so bad with even a minor infraction or minor thing. And it's so funny because I used to always be like, well, what I did wasn't that bad, right? But that doesn't mean it wasn't bad.
Bad to them, you know, that's true.
Or it wasn't my fault, but that doesn't mean it didn't affect them. And so having that understanding is like, hey, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. Even though it wasn't necessarily my fault, I'm taking ownership of this. And now hopefully you can heal and you can recover and you will think less badly of me because now maybe you have a greater understanding or whatever. And it is like, right, my ego still at the same time because I don't want you to think bad of me. But also now I'm a new person and you might not know that. Or I might not know that and I don't know who you are now. And so it's kind of like a weird thing of like selfish and ego, but also forgiving and healing.
Yeah, and then also, you know, you don't self-poison yourself with all that either. And I think that's very powerful because then it's, if they decide to forgive you or not, then it's on them to keep poisoning themselves with all that situation. And
or maybe they don't even care about it anymore.
No,
but
that is true.
Something that keeps you up at night is your own actions.
And see, with my sisters, we grew up a lot like that, like thinking, oh my God, they you know, they still think like, you know, this of us or that. And I remember I met this lady, and her name is Lisa. She had a company that was called Girly Bird and Companies. It was a wedding venue in the International District, and I worked for her for a little bit. She's amazing. I'm trying to get her on the podcast, but maybe she'll be ready later in life. I don't know. But to tell her story, she has an insane, incredible story. And she's an incredible person. Okay, pause. So then one time we did a little like meditation in the yard, very beautiful property. But she told us something about sometimes when someone hurt you or said something that was hurtful to you, you heard it once, right?
Yeah.
But how many times did you think about it and relive the situation? And sometimes something that was said to you once feels like it was said to you a million times because you talked about it or you thought about it. And so something that maybe even for that person was insignificant, or maybe it was not, but became something, a huge mountain for you. And sometimes that person doesn't even know about it. And you poisoning yourself so much from that one thing that might have been awful, that might have been really hurtful. I'm not saying that what they said was any less because they said it one time.
Yes.
But still, you have power over that. You have the power to say, like you said, they're a piece of shit. I don't care.
Yeah.
And pardon my French, I don't care. And I'm not just gonna take that into account. And I decide to move on. Yeah. Or you're just going to drink that poison every time you think about it. And for so long, I drank gallons of poison.
Yes.
And now, and also it provided me from starting the podcast, for example, because I was always thinking, what is my family going to say? They're always going to say, oh my God, you look fat now. You do this, that, whatever, a million different things. And I was always like, no, I'll wait. No, I won't. At some point, I was even like, maybe I can just open a new account and do it like completely off
grid.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just like start it like organically, whatever. Yeah. And then I was like, no. And actually what happened with my dad and my sister, I just realized that no matter what I do or what I say, he's not going to change.
Yeah.
And that is okay. Yes. That's on him and that's okay. And I'm at peace with it. And I was like, let's just go for it.
Putting yourself out there is a really amazing thing, but you have to be able to let go of that poison.
Yes.
You do. I mean, I have found, naturally, I am not somebody that can let things go, right? I'm naturally somebody who is like, we need to talk about it. We need to do this. We need to do that. And I have grown into somebody who can let it go.
Nice.
I have found, it's like a hoarder house in your brain, right? If you get rid of all the shit in the hoarder house, you are so much better. Your life has changed.
That's such a good image.
Yeah, and so if you get rid of all the negativity in your mind and you just let it go and you ask for forgiveness, you take the steps you need to let things go, because sometimes you need to talk about it in order to let it go. But when you take those steps and you do let it go, life gets so much better. Because if I was still ashamed of who I was in the past and things that have happened in the past, I wouldn't have become a realtor, and then I wouldn't have met you, and then I wouldn't be here having this wonderful conversation with you. I wouldn't have met all the people on my amazing real estate team. I wouldn't have met my amazing buyers, my amazing sellers. I wouldn't put myself out there. And it's not without problems, right? I mean, once you start putting yourself out there, you're going to have feedback, you're going to have this, you're going to have the commentary. But when you're able to let go of that and heal through it and say, okay, maybe somebody says you look fat, okay? Next, okay, maybe I don't need to wear that shirt next time. Maybe you can, but you don't need to let it hurt you.
Yeah.
But you can maybe also take it as, okay, yeah, they're being mean, but also maybe I did look fat that day. Yeah. And that's okay.
Or maybe it's not even about me.
Yes, exactly. And so there's so many different ways you can take things that can either have a positive difference or not. I mean, if somebody tells me that I'm an awful person, right, I should be able to look at that and go, maybe something I did was awful, and maybe I'm not an awful person as a whole, but maybe they do have a point. Maybe they're a little bit valid.
I was shitty, yeah.
So how can I be better? How can I change that? What can I do? How can I improve? Makes all the difference. Right. Like, if you're able to just let go of, I am not an awful person, but maybe I did some awful things. Cool.
Yeah, you can move
on. How
on.
can I heal? Right. How can I do better? How can I improve so that, because maybe they're not wrong. Or maybe it's not about you at all. Either. And it's only about them. There's so many different things, right? And so if you're able to, like, take in the hate and breathe about it and let it go, it's just so much better for you and everyone else in your life.
Right. Well, thank you for those words of wisdom. I think that I think for me too, I'm learning so much from this podcast. I just love it so much. I wanted to, I've been thinking about it and I'm like, okay, now that I remember it, I'm like, I don't want to forget again. I wanted to take you also through your relationship journey. Because you mentioned earlier that you were someone right now that you seem to have been with for a long time. Would you like to tell us a little more about it?
Yes. So it's a very interesting thing. So I met him at Media Arts Collaborative Charter School. So when I was like in 6th grade or something, he was a grade older, 2 grades older, I don't know. But we've been talking for a very long time. I mean, we've been very on and off. He's been in other relationships. I've been in other relationships throughout our whole friendship. We started with dating. He was, at the time, he was an addict from childhood. And so we were like, okay, this is not going to work. We need, there's a lot we got to do. And we were young. We were like 13, 14, whatever. So we've really gone through a whole life journey. We've only really been dating for like 3-4 weeks now, maybe. Not a long time. I mean, I've had a very hectic 6-day weeks. But him and his girlfriend had broken up. He needed a place to stay. I offered him my house. We started our new relationship with living together. And then now he's not living with me. He has his own space. But it's just been quite, it's always been something that's been there. You know, it's always been something where we've always liked each other. We've always had this, but we've never been willing to give it a try. And it's like, as soon as we decided to be all in and give it a try, it's all been great. Everything's worked out very well. I mean, I've had past toxic relationships where I was the toxic one. I've had relationships where they were the toxic one. I've had really good relationships with people where it just didn't work out. But dating has never been my priority either. I've always been very business focused, very focused on myself and trying to do better every day. And that's really hard to be in a relationship and do those things. But I find it with him, it's very easy. And I think he feels the same. We're able to grow as who we are and live our lives. Neither of us is controlling. Neither of us is negative. Neither of us is toxic. And we both have businesses where we're able to like coincide and collaborate on a lot of things, which is really, really nice.
Nice. Well, you know what? It's not podcast light, but heck yeah. I'm just so happy for you because I feel like I met my soulmate. Like Joshua is my husband, but he's my best friend. He's my soulmate. And it's the same. We have the same relationship as you two we build each other up.
Yes.
And that's what we listen to each other. We care for each other. We respect each other. And when we don't agree, we never yell at each other. I mean, it's not, the way I said it's almost like, it's all pink and perfect. It's not, like everybody. Yeah, we have our ups and downs too, but at the end of the day, there's always love and there's always respect.
Yes.
And always like,
Without respect, it's nothing.
No.
There's no relationship. Without the love, there's no relationship. You know, it's just as long as you have those things, you can do better every day. And that's how I feel in this relationship too. And I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll break up tomorrow. I don't know. You know, maybe we're not meant to be. It doesn't really matter because regardless, life is going to go on, and there's always something better for everyone, right?
And if not, which I don't, wish for
Yes,
you, but it was a good time, and today you're happy and loved, and you love and you respect and you respected.
Exactly, because we really never know what's going to happen, but we do know where we are right now and how we feel and what we like, and it's awesome because I do feel like he's my soulmate. I mean, we have gone through so much, not even just not drama or anything, just in our own lives. But we've always done it together. We've always been a message away, a call away. We've just been really good friends for so long. I mean, I think I've had my thigh tattoo for like 3 or 4 years now.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
I have a J tattooed on me from him. I tattooed him like 4 or 5 years ago. And it's just so funny. We've done all of these things, and we were laughing about that the other day. We're like, we've been friends and dating for so long without actually trying or without even putting in effort. And now that we're putting in effort of even just like, hey, we should be together. What are we doing? Like, what is this where we're just playing these games all the time? And it's so positive and so good to like just be like, okay, hey, let's date. And both of us are like, okay.
Isn't it a little scary too?
Yes. For me, it's scary because I want to focus on my career. I just started this new career. I just want to start this new thing. And I never know what's going on, right? I want to, what if there's somebody else that I'm supposed to be with? What if this? What if that?
Oh, that's an interesting way of thinking.
And I don't know why I've always been that way, though. Anybody I've dated, I've always been like, there's something else. Maybe there's something this. Maybe I'm not doing the right thing. But when I really sit with myself and I think about it, I know I am. And it's very nice, for sure. And I think for him, it's scary because he is getting several months now, I guess, half a year at least. He was getting out of another relationship. He's never had very positive relationships, or they've been positive, but they didn't end on great terms. So for him, it's like different fears, and for me, it's different fears. And then we also are scared in itself of like losing the other person because we tried to do this. But I don't think that will happen for us regardless. I think we could have the worst breakup in human history, and I think we'll still be able to be friends, which is nice.
Right. I think that's smart too, to just be able to say, okay, let's try it. But also if it doesn't work out, let's just leave it at that and get back to what you had before.
Yes, and see, because we have the respect and love, we're able to draw the line and say, hey, this isn't working. Cool, let's get over it.
Back to what it was. Smart. In the show, in the podcast, we have little cards. Yeah. So we have a little stack that's those are life questions, and these are expressions. So if you want to take a card out of each stack, and then we can see where it takes us.
Okay. So this one is the quote, and it's dream big and dare to fail.
Oh, damn.
That's perfect. Yes. And then what is a lesson you learned the hard way? I think that a lesson that I've really learned the hard way is trusting people. I used to put full faith in people and think that if I believed in them, they believed in themselves, and everything would work out. And I've been screwed over a lot because of that. And my name has been dragged through the mud because I put full faith into somebody or fully trusted somebody based off of a feeling or an intuition. And I think the lesson that I've really learned in that is that you can't always just believe in other people. You need their actions to show you who they are. And when they show you, you need to accept that and not just think, oh, well, that's not who they are. Right. I know that they're better than that. I know that they're this. I know that they're that. And really, it's screwed a lot of businesses up for me, especially in the business world, by basing my business partnerships or my feelings of people based on emotions. And this isn't about my last business partner, it's about my one before that, because my last business partner is my best friend, Taylor. Oh, she's amazing. We've never had a problem, really. But my business partner previous, it was like I had full faith in her, and I knew she could be something amazing and this and that. And the actions didn't equal that. And so it's like you keep this thought in your head of like, they could do better, they can be better. And same with relationships. I think we do that all the time with men, women, and whatever. All the time we're like, they can be so much better. I can see the end. I see the end of the rainbow. They're going to be amazing. And they're not. Maybe they're just a piece of shit. But you designed them to be who you want them to be, and they're falling short. So something, I guess the lesson is to look at actions more than just words or feelings or beliefs.
Or what you think they could become.
Yes. Because it's so different from what it really can be.
No, I agree. And then it's so funny. I love the other one, Dream Big and Dare to Fail, because I feel like it was meant for you to pick up.
Yes. I've always been okay with failing and letting things go, but I've also learned that you can't just fail everything. You got to actually continue it and put in the effort, which is kind of hard for me. I like to dream as big as I can, go for it, and then once I hit that goal, I'm like, cool, I'm good, you know?
And it's funny because I wonder if you're like that too. For me, that speaks a lot because when I start anything, I always think 52 steps ahead. Like I barely started I sewed my first scrunchie and I was like, I'm gonna make tailored clothing and maybe I can be featured at the airport. You know, it's like and my husband is looking at me from the other side of the room and he's like, and you got all that just from your first scrunchie? I was like, well, yeah.
No, I have dreamed so big that it has gotten me in trouble. You know, I have been so ahead of myself that it has really like messed up a lot of things for me in the past. But it's so positive. And even though that experience may have turned out awful because I was 36 steps ahead, I learned 36 different things that I wouldn't have known if I didn't try. Or if you didn't make that scrunchie, you would have never known how to make a scrunchie.
That's true. That's true.
You would have never started planning and realizing how big life can be for you, you know?
Yeah. But I feel like sometimes it can be tiring though, because then you're already in your head. Like for me, and it's a little different for the podcast, but my dream is to down the road have a little like trailer that's like a podcast studio and take the studio on the road and just interview everybody on earth. But that's probably, I won't have time in my life to do that, but like,
don't say that because you might.
That is true. I might, but
it's such a balance, being 36 steps ahead but also being where you are.
I know, but at the same time sometimes it's like, oh, I already want to be there, you know what I mean? It's like, because you can see like where it potentially can go. And it's like, oh man, I already want to be there. And it's funny because my husband is like the complete opposite. He hates kind of like foreseeing things in the future. And it's almost like, well, we'll see what's going to happen. And in my head, I'm like, no.
I hate that. Well, we'll see what happens.
No.
No, I don't want to see what happens because I can make whatever I want happen. And that's your power, right? You know that you can make it happen. So it's a positive thing. But then at the same time, it's
and for some other people, or it gives anxiety. It's like, oh no, because what if it doesn't happen? Then I dreamed all that other life that's not happening. It's crazy, but I feel like we're similar in that way.
Yes, I mean, I have dreamed so many lives, you know, and so many things that didn't work out, but now looking back, it all worked out for a reason, you know? Here I'm doing things that I really like, and with the real estate, I'm not really dreaming that big, and it's nice, and I kind of feel like I mean, I have high hopes, I have high goals,
of course,
but I'm not thinking so many steps ahead, which kind of makes me feel like maybe it is my purpose because it's not something that I'm trying to rush or trying to succeed in right away and try to do. It's something I'm able to be much more patient with and understanding. And with other businesses and other careers I've started, I've been very like full force. I mean, if you ask my best friend Taylor, I mean, poor thing, we're like, we were starting this mocktail bar, and she's like, let's take our time, let's make everything perfect, this and that. I'm like, yeah, for sure, yeah. And then this girl's like, yeah, we're looking for a venue. I'm like, cool, we can have it done in 3 days. So then we're painting and working our asses off, and then the whole thing gets canceled anyway. And she's like, we do not need to rush these things. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. But I've always been that way too. I'm like, I can get it done. I can get it done. I can get it done. I can do this. I mean, that's how I was with my real estate classes and the exam. I mean, I just hustled it, you know? It's just like, let's do this, let's do that. I was thinking all these steps ahead. And then one day I looked in the mirror. I'm like, oh my God, I'm a realtor now. What do I do now? What do I do? Oh my God.
You're the real deal.
Yes. And then you have to kind of learn so much more. I mean, what you have to do to become a realtor is completely different than what you actually have to do to be a realtor. You know, like you can be anyone can be a real estate agent. It's just passing the courses, taking the test. But to actually live it day in, day out and actually be good at your job is so different. But all you can do is try and learn and take the classes and do X, Y, Z and just do what you can, which is awesome.
Yes. And it's funny because you said that and it brought me back to what you said at the beginning about your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Is it something, because I just, when people say it's so hard, I always think about people that say that they could be influencers, but it's hard. It's harder than people think.
I was always delusional.
Oh.
So that's always been a strong suit.
Is it something you think you'll get back to?
Yes. With the way my Instagram has been, I mean, I have a lot of followers, which is really nice, and I've always wanted to be an influencer. Right now, actually, something I've been journaling, I journal and I write my dreams and my goals, and one of the goals I have right now is to be a New Mexican-focused influencer, so that I can really share the beauty of our state, the wonderful people in it, like you, like people that we either see every day or we don't see online, or we do, you know, and I love all the local coffee shops, local food places, local everything. I go to all those things anyway. Why am I not posting and sharing and really making reels and content for it? Because it is something I love to do. I love social media. I love marketing. I love the influence you can have. And it's just something that I really want to get into. And I was writing about that yesterday. I'm like, what is my higher self and who is she? What is she doing? And one of the things she's doing as a realtor is sharing all the local businesses and local houses and local things and markets and meeting new people. And those are all things I love to do. And things I've been doing since I was little. I mean, if you look up, I'll send you the link for the YouTube. I don't even remember what it is. But it's so funny. I was the NYX makeup face model. Like, I was doing all the makeup, and I was not very good at it at all. I'm not a strong suit. I don't know what I thought I was doing. But
you tried. You know what?
Yes, exactly. You tried. I mean, and I regret nothing. I think it was such a great time. And now I know how to edit videos. I know how to do those things because of trying to be a YouTuber and trying to do those things.
Yeah, and it's not easy by any means. So that you already started, being younger.
Yes.
I want you to keep going because, you have such a fun and solar personality. Do you say solar? Like, you shine.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
I think that's definitely something you meant to do. So I can't wait to keep, seeing your journey. And
yes, I can't wait to see yours. It's so awesome. I'm so excited for you. This is such an amazing podcast. I'm excited. I've been listening.
Thank you. I love it so much. And so I'm at the point where I'm like, okay, I have a little list of people to come on the show. And I'm like, okay. And, but at the same time, it's taking time. So I have a full-time job on the side. So I'm trying to find ways, like today is my day off.
Yes.
And so I'm like, oh my God, like, I scheduled you right away and I'm going to keep doing that because I really believe in it. But at the same time, I pay for the sessions. And so I'm like, okay, when I just had to pay for a couple more and I'm like, so I told my husband, I was like, I'll put it on my credit card and, we'll make payments. It's okay. And my husband believes in me like 1,000%. So he's like,
as he should.
Yeah. He's like, don't even worry about it. Because also that's my belief too, that whenever, however you talk about money is very important because that's also what you can attract or not attract.
Yes.
And so money comes and goes. But at the same time, we have a house, we have a son. It's like, it's that those beliefs are good too. But at the end of the day, we still need to pay the bills and eat and all that good stuff. So, I was trying to be creative and to think about, ways to maybe talk to local businesses and say, hey, would you like to sponsor an episode? Or, I don't know how, that's going to go still because also the content you provide on Instagram for you and YouTube and me on YouTube and Spotify and stuff, it's all free. For people.
Yes.
And so it's like, okay, so, you need to be creative. And I'm the first one. I consume a lot of YouTube vlogs and stuff like that. But it's also free content. So it's like, I'm also part of the consumers. And now I also offer some content. And I'm like, okay, so, but I'm also the first one as a consumer to get mad when my favorite influencers are talking about an ad or something they're promoting. And I'm like, but then at the same time, they also have to, make their bread and butter.
Their bills.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find that balance where I'm like, okay, where does it start? How do I start monetizing this
Yes.
thing without losing the spirit of it, you know? So
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where that
I
journey is
think
going to
you're
go.
doing
But
great.
yeah.
Yes.
No, thank you. Well, I have another little thing that I wanted to do with you is on the show we have a tradition, which is the last guest ask a question to the next guest without knowing who it's gonna be, and then so I'm gonna ask you Kusha K's so Ethan's question, and then you'll be able to ask a question to the next guest. But his question is, what has helped you overcome hardships?
I would say more than anything, my family.
Okay.
I feel like having a system that supports you and loves you and knows who you truly are makes all the difference. No matter what the hardship is, I've always been able to go to my mom or my dad or my sister or my little brother and be like, oh, this person hates me today, or this is happening, or I have $1 in my bank account and whatever, and then be like, oh, it's okay. Don't worry. This will happen. Don't worry. You're going to be okay. Don't worry. You're good. And that's just always helped me overcome everything, really. It's made a huge, huge difference in my life.
Nice.
And it's sad that not everybody has that, but
No, and I think you're lucky. And I mean, it's also so easy to say because it should be the norm, right?
yes,
To have a support system. And I'm so happy for you, genuinely. And
Thank you, yeah.
it's good to know because then whatever you're gonna start or go through in life, you know that you will always have that support system.
And I think too, even if you don't have a support system, building one, right? You know, your friends, your family doesn't always have to be biological.
No,
it
that
can
is
be
true.
anyone. And making sure that you're open to meeting new people and open to having a support system of some kind, I think makes all the difference for people. Because my support system has gotten me through everything because they know who you are. They know your thoughts. They know your process. You can tell them anything and they understand. Or if they're like, hey, you made a shitty decision, you're able to really like hear that and own it and go from there. It makes a big difference.
Nice. And I want to say, no matter if your family is the hard family or the family that you choose, to be open, like to
Yes.
to be open to not criticism but hearing advice.
Yes.
Is probably a big one too. As a big sister, I try to give advice to my brothers and sisters, but I feel like sometimes you have to go through the stuff yourself,
Yes.
to actually learn from it. And even though I'm like, I went through it, I promise, please don't do it. But no, I'm trying to think, is there anything you wanted to talk about today?
I don't think so. I think we covered it all, really.
I'm glad. I really I was looking forward to meeting you and learning to know you, and it's another beautiful person that I had the chance to have on the podcast. So thank you so much for coming. And I mean, I'm learning a lot from you, and I think sometimes people think that because people are younger than them, they can't learn anything, and I think that's wrong. I think you're such a beautiful solar person. You have so much confidence, and I'm in awe. I'm just like, oh my God, I wish I was
how I
like
feel
you 10
about
years
you.
ago.
I feel like you can learn from anybody ever,
Oh, yes.
right? You know, and I've learned a lot from you talking with you, and I think you are such a beautiful solar person, and you have so much confidence too. I mean, look at what you're doing. This is amazing. You're doing it, and you're killing it. You're even brave enough to talk to people that you don't know and meet them at the podcast studio,
yes.
you know, and interact with people online. It's amazing. I love it. I'm so excited to see where your podcast
Thank
goes.
you. That makes me so uncomfortable. And then I'm like, Marie, you do that to everybody. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. But thank
you're
you.
doing amazing.
I love this, and I really hope I can do this for the rest of my life, and
Yeah.
I'll keep working on the side as long as I have to, because it's funny because I'm a clerk at the post office, and I also love that because I love customer service.
Yes.
And also to people out there, if you work in customer service and you don't like it, please do something else.
Yeah, seriously.
please.
You don't have to like customer
No,
service. It's okay.
no.
I love customer service
I do
I
too.
loved cashiering, lifeguarding. I loved being a barista. Anything where I got to talk to people, I really
Yes.
enjoyed. And I thought that I didn't enjoy talking to people and things like that, but I really do. It's really awesome.
And you're really good at it.
Thank you. It's something that has always come naturally, is talking to people, for sure. And I don't know why or where that comes from, but it's worked for me for sure.
Nice. Well, I am sure that we'll stay in each other's life.
Yes,
and,
I hope so.
Thank you so much for coming, for contacting me. And I was just so in awe, because see, it's funny because I recorded Aritza's episode, where today is last Tuesday.
Yeah.
And last Tuesday I was talking to Lester, and I was like, she left, and I was like, I have no idea who's gonna be next.
Yeah.
And the if you want to, by the way, be a part of a podcast, the Albuquerque Podcast Studio has a waiting list, or kind of a form you can fill in if you want to be part of a podcast, but you don't know any podcasters, or you don't know what podcast. And so me, as a podcaster from the studio, I was able to access that list.
Yeah.
And that's how I found Ethan / Kusha K that I interviewed. But then, so the next day I asked him, and then you contacted me, I think the next day or the day after. And and then all of a sudden now I have like 6 people on the wait list. That's to, awesome. Be scheduled. Yes. So I'm like, oh my God. So, and I started contacting other people. I'm also trying to get that fear off and just be like, it's okay, just go for it. And so yeah, I think that's also another message from the both of us today, is just for people to believe in themselves and just go for it.
Yes.
Sometimes it's easier said than done. Don't quit your job.
For me, it's easier done than said. I can
there we go.
fly through it and get it done, and then actually saying it, thinking long term is not for me.
Yeah, but see, sometimes I feel like you have to do that to, first of all, not have regrets, but also to realize if something is for you or not.
Yeah, exactly.
Because for people like us that don't really know the passion that defines them, even though I think what we said today is it doesn't have to be just one, then yeah, it's okay to have a million different interests and try things, and like you said, do the differentiate the passion versus the, what did we say, the hobby?
Yes,
and
like passion and purpose.
And try to see what's what, and maybe give more importance to some certain stuff, or unlike us, try to do something and not give your 1,000% the first second, but kind of let it breathe, and let it take its course to whatever it's meant to be or become. But it's okay. And thank you for sharing that with us today.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Is there anything else you would like to say?
No, I don't think so. Not that I could think of.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much for watching, for listening. And if you want to be part of the podcast, I have a link in my bio on Instagram, or you can always send me an email, and there's a form for you to fill in. So I have all that good information together. I want to thank again Lester from the Albuquerque Podcast Studio for doing this amazing setup for us today. And if you need any type of studio, contact him. He'll hook you up for sure. In the meantime, if you are interested in sponsoring, this is a very long outro, the podcast, please reach out. I'm hoping to keep doing this, and as long as I can. So I wish you a good rest of your day or night. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy birthday, and see you next episode. Bye bye.